going on? Thursday night football today. They asked me to take the lead. I had to throw on the head of the table shirt for that.
I'm sorry.
They asked me to take the lead today. You know what I mean? So let's see how this goes. Thursday night football, man. We got the Cleveland Browns versus the Denver Broncos.
Man.
Shout out to the guys here. We have Germ So True. We got Mo Schefter. We got Trav in the background. What's going on, fellas? Talk to the people.
Hey, Vic, you claim to not be a Jay-Z fan, but yet every time you leading off, you got to talk for 45 seconds before you start the show.
Oh, is that something he does? I guess
yes.
It must be a New York thing. I don't know.
It must be. It must be. Hey, listen, man, we got a great show planned for y'all tonight. We got views. We got the dish. We got 94 feet of life all on the scene, baby. 101 Petty Avenue, Main Street, USA. We here. We live. We're going to talk briefly about the Broncos game and get into the playoffs. I'm feeling good. It's going to be a good show. Get in, settle in, popcorn, pizza, nachos, whatever you need. We got a full night of sports ahead. What up, Germ?
Well,
Jeremy,
fellas, how is everything going tonight, fellas? I mean, I'm debating how I want to do this tonight
Germ,
to have some fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you asked the question. I feel inclined to answer it. It's been a hectic day, but for whatever reason, as soon as Trav clicked that live button, brother, it just started feeling peaceful.
different. It feels different.
It just started feeling peaceful. So, Germ, do not choose violence.
That's what I was gonna get to. I mean, apparently he got some beef for me.
Mm-hmm.
He got some beef for me. I mean, we only got
Well, he came
minutes.
to the right. Hey, if you got beef, you come to the right spot.
We only got 15 minutes to talk about it, my guy. Talk about it.
No, we got 3 hours, Vic.
Oh, so we're gonna be on. Okay.
We're gonna talk a little football, then we're gonna transition once the dish guys come on.
Okay.
I'm gonna jump off for a little bit, and then we're gonna come back. Go ahead, Jerm.
So first of all, my name is Jertholomew Diaz. I just want everybody to understand that today we are going to make logical sense of different things in the world. So this is what we're gonna do until the Browns game comes along. We're gonna make some sense of some things. So we got the Browns, we got the Broncos, we got Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, baby. Woo!
This is where you choosing to start?
Yes. Yeah, that's what, that's his attitude today.
We have Deshaun Watson in a situation where he should be on the move soon. Never trust the dude that wears sunglasses at night. I just want y'all to know that.
I don't even know who these belong to, bro. I just found them on my desk.
Those are definitely C-Nos.
Probably.
Because C-Nos like that Mission Impossible ass shades. So with that being said, we got Deshaun Watson being potentially on the move. I know a lot of people have seen the Miami speculations and things like that. Let's start there. Deshaun Watson to Miami. I think if this is a deal that gets done, I think it's a good fit for him. I think there's some weapons there. There's some good things there. They're still improving the offensive line. It's still getting better. It's fairly young. But Deshaun Watson to Miami, fellas, let's start right there. I'm going to start with you actually, Mo, right there in that situation. Mm-hmm. Is that the best football situation you feel for him to go to moving forward?
Absolutely. 100%. And I have a certain opinion I want to give on this matter in terms of Deshaun being in Miami. Mm-hmm. But as far as Deshaun going to Miami, I'm going to Miami. Listen, man, it's going to be a party in the city. No doubt about it. I think Deshaun Watson is going to bring a lot of excitement to a Dolphins organization in a very energetic place in this country. I got a little bit of intimate knowledge of that region, and it's a fantastic region. No doubt about it.
Knowledge.
Yes. It holds a special place in my heart, Jeremy. Okay.
Bartholomew, sir.
Sorry. Listen, bro.
It's in syllables, so those can
listen,
see
listen. I got enough cousins with 5-6 syllables in their name. Okay, I don't need another one. I'm sorry.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Nobody asked you.
Vic got family members with like 37 middle names, bro. Don't
It's the tail of the table.
Yeah, and then we got to add the father's last name plus the mom's last name in the back. The whole thing.
Oh man, listen. We're keeping it light tonight, all right? For the viewers, we keeping it. We got a long show. We're keeping it light tonight. As far as Deshaun Watson to Miami, I think it's quite simple, right? I think you got a strong foundation being built in Miami since Brian Flores have gotten there. I think you have seen Miami is going to be a hard out. Shout out to the Dish, no matter who they play, thanks to Brian Flores. And so you bring in Deshaun Watson under a proper culture, under a healthy environment with coaches who genuinely are going to want his success. I think that's the number one thing is that Deshaun Watson going to Miami, he's not going to have to question the agenda of his coaches. And shout out to the 94 guys, less than MJ will attest to this. There are coaches, what separates the good coaches from the bad, the good ones have the best interest of the player. The bad ones got a certain agenda that they want to carry out. And I think that's where Deshaun Watson is going to have comfort. He's going to find some peace. And I think it's going to be just being straight up here next year, 2022. Shout out to the 2-2. Next year, the Dolphins, AFC East favorites. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
I mean, the latest rumor was that there should be a deal made by the end of the week. I don't know if that's what you guys have heard. We're kind of already at the end of the week. So, I mean, could it be the next 24 hours we're going to hear something? Well, I just want to see it when I'll believe it when I see it. Go ahead.
Oh, no, it's going to happen, Vic. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Like, this is just my opinion based on what I've read, but it's going to happen. Just looking at it from a football perspective to a business perspective, because at the end of the day, this is a business. It makes sense for both these guys. Why Houston, why are they going to sit on such a valuable and pricey asset that doesn't want to play for them? I mean, we have to acknowledge and give credit and shout out to LeBron James for this, honestly, that the players in today's day and age have a little more leverage than even 10 years ago, 12 years ago. You know what I mean? So we got to acknowledge that fact and applaud it. And so I think this is going to happen. When you look, the Texans had such a hard stand on this. When you have such a hard stand, the way the Texans did initially, and you eventually compromise, even if you compromise an inch, that's it. That's it. The whatever protection, defense, whatever has been compromised at that point, you have shown weakness. You have shown that you are vulnerable to making a deal, and it's the right business move. It's also the right football move. You collect some assets, you start over. You're not going nowhere if you're the Texans for the next 2 to 3 years. So why even waste Deshaun Watson? I think this is 100% going to happen. I think the holdup is how are they going to work out the little details with a third team being involved with Tua going to Washington.
Yeah, I mean, I heard the rumors of that. Just from a football standpoint, because that's technically the only business I want to care about is what happens on the football field. Bill O'Brien was a big EMP type of head coach. That's the kind of system that he ran, which is something that Deshaun Watson did a great job doing, despite all the other issues they had. And then where does Brian Flores come from? He comes from the New England culture where they used a lot of the EMP. So he might be able to bring somebody that can execute, an offensive coordinator that can execute the EMP, and they would have an excellent offense there. Especially with those weapons that they have on the outside. The tight end is incredible. The offensive line just has to get better. But the Dolphins, I've been saying this from way before, the controversy started with Watson. We are not big Tua fans, just not a fan of the level of play that he brings to the professional level. And Watson would just be a major upgrade. And I would love to see him in Miami.
No doubt. No doubt about it.
So, fellas, let me come through real quick for the come through.
Wait,
So
before you okay, go ahead. Because I'll leave it for later. When I jump back on, I'll talk about my second point. But go ahead, Jeremy.
No. Go ahead, get your second.
No. Because I don't want to take away from. Go ahead. I'm serious. Go ahead.
Okay. So I got 7 teams written down.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give y'all 7 teams that realistically should be in this sweepstakes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start with Miami, obviously, who we just talked about.
Okay.
They should be in the sweepstakes. Sure. Washington should be in the sweepstakes, obviously. I don't think Washington has the assets to pull it off unless they're going to send back one of those pass rushers or one of those guys on the defensive line.
Okay.
And send back some draft capital. That's the way that could happen. Shouts out to Les because he likes when I say draft capital. So that being said, next, we got the Broncos. They will be in the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes at the end of the season. But if you got a chance to get a younger quarterback, why not go after it? The assets that they have on their particular side is they have a lot of secondary pieces. Unfortunately, Miami has a lot of secondary pieces, but a lot of them don't fit. So we ain't going to talk too much about that because it doesn't make a difference. Then we have the Raiders. Now, there's a certain person who's going to be mad at me when I say this, but, they'll be okay. Bartholomew Diaz just wants to let y'all know that the problem with the Raiders is the quarterback. Then it was John Gruden as the number one person. That was the problem. So now that we got rid of Gruden, I think Carr should be the next thing because I don't think Carr is the quarterback that's going to get them out of the purgatory that is the bottom of the AFC West. I just don't think it's possible. I don't think he's that guy. I don't think he's accurate enough. And most importantly, I just don't think that that's the right solution. The next 3 teams are going to be teams that I want to bring to the table because they're going to be interesting. Now, I know we sat here and we talked about Jameis Winston. But if you're the New Orleans Saints and you look at this team that you have, so what would it take for me to get, you have bookend tackles. This will already be the best offensive line he's ever played with. He'll still have the weapons, which we can always get better weapons because you know what we can do? We can make a trade for something. We got draft capital that we can move around. And we have a quarterback that we can at least exchange with you to bridge the water until you get, see how I did that bridge? Mm-hmm. But anyway, you can at least bridge until you get to the next season. New England. Mac Jones has shown he is a valuable commodity for the upcoming years. Mac Jones is also a certain color. You send him, you send a first-round pick, you bring back Deshaun, you're back in contention.
Ew.
Can you just stop right there? These are 6 amazing good points. You don't have to name lucky number 7.
Yes, I'm about to name them. The Cleveland Browns. How much? I gotta say this. How long is the NFL window in the NFL? Mo, how long is the window?
3 years.
What year is Cleveland on? Realistically, let's be honest.
One.
What? Huh? What? Huh?
One.
What?
One.
They're year 1. Oh God!
What year would they be on?
Oh, they're on at least year 2. At least year 2.
Year 1.
Because year 1 was last year.
No, year 1.
Okay, so year 1.
But that's besides the point. Because it's still.
I'm about to write a letter.
Your case.
I am about to write a letter.
Germ. We will talk, boy. Listen, this is going to be a 3-hour show just on this. Forget the playoffs, forget NBA, because you choose Apple settings, violence.
Yes. This is year 2.
Okay, all right.
This is year 2. I'm gonna tell you why it's year 2. Because Baker is getting ready. Baker is still in that we're supposed to pay him round. Because after this year, he has one more year, Mo. One more.
I get you.
And then after that, it's $25 million or above.
Wait. So next year, he's still under his rookie deal, right?
Next year would be the 5th year.
And so after that next year,
well, excuse me, he hasn't gotten his 5th year yet. Baker has not gotten his 5th year yet. They have not picked it up yet.
So wait. This is year 4 for him, no?
This would be year 4-ish, I think. Oh. But we got 18, 19, 20, here's 21. This 4. So next year would be year 5. They haven't picked up year 5.
Got you.
So if they pick up year 5, that leaves you 5 years. That would be their 3-year window. That's your 3rd year, your 3-year window. Because now, where are we at? We pay him, and then our salary cap situation changes because we got to pay Denzel Ward. You got to pay him. You just paid Miles. His money kicks in next year. Mm-hmm. Where are they going? Where are they going?
Okay, I'm listening.
So I'm asking. You said
right,
3 years.
Let's start with this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with this.
Let's get it.
Número uno.
Let's go.
The number one thing. Again, let's talk about the money first before we get into the football. Mm-hmm. Number one thing is there will be more flexibility for the Browns in terms of cap space by committing to Baker Mayfield than committing to Deshaun Watson. When you based on the fact,
are you going to explain it? Go ahead.
Yeah, based on the fact that he's on their team, based on the fact that they drafted him, and based on the fact that they still have him under contract. So what that means is they can sign him this offseason, and instead of, let's say they sign him to a 5-year contract, right? Instead of that 5-year contract being spread out through 5 years, guess what? It's going to be spread out through 6 years because they still have next year. Guess what? Also, they can give him a large signing bonus to mask the rest of this big money. And by the time they get into year 3, year 4 of that contract, it's going to look like a bargain based on the way the quarterback market keeps climbing. So from that perspective alone, it makes more sense financially to stick with Baker Mayfield.
What if he gets paid less? What if his yearly cap hit is less than Deshaun?
It will be. It's not what if, bro.
Yeah, so
it's not
because
what if.
He's not on the same tier.
Okay. So number one, opinion. Number
is he
2.
Big? Hold on. Is he Mr. Tail of the
No,
table?
he's not. But that's the point, Germ, is that you're gonna pay less for a guy that can't get to that tier.
But he's not gonna get there.
That's your opinion.
But it's still an opinion because there's no guarantee that Baker Mayfield won't get there. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, okay, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you for 2 hours about whether Deshaun Watson is better than Baker Mayfield or not.
I know. We know that already. I know that question.
Because he is. But under the right circumstances, there's no guarantee that Deshaun would have more success or Baker would have less success.
Now, let's have some serious logical debate right here.
Well, that's what we do.
And yes, because finances, Mo, I will give you a check. You know why? Because that makes a lot of sense what you said. And if you handling the checkbook, I feel comfortable.
Yes.
Even though I still can handle the checkbook, I will always allow him. I'll always allow you to handle the checkbook. Now, see, this ain't one of them crazy debate shows. Now, this is good information. Now,
yes.
Now, from a culture standpoint, in Cleveland, you may have to pay a little bit more to get what it is that you need. We seen it in 2016 when the Cavs was $50 million over the cap. They had to bring in all of these people, and it took some things to go their way and everything else. But that's how they got their championship. We're talking about the Browns being in a situation where bringing in a better player at the quarterback position automatically puts you in a different situation because what you're going to already do when you go into games against Josh Allen, when you go into games against Pat Mahomes, is you're already underhanded and undermanned because you can't get the. Now, Vic, I want you. Let's be honest.
Well, how we
plus Baker against Pat Mahomes against Baker in a game? We're talking about being able to maximize every possession based on what we have. Would you rather have Pat Mahomes, Allen, or Baker
listen?
Mayfield?
I'm not saying I'm obviously Pat Mahomes, but it's not like Pat Mahomes is exempt from messing up some plays.
No. I'm not saying that nobody's exempt. What I'm saying is we're talking about making the teams defend every blade of grass. And from a culture standpoint, Cleveland is in a certain spot right now. This is the most talented roster in the NFL. It is the most talented 53-man roster in the NFL. They only have realistically about another year or two that they're going to be able to harbor all of this talent because the rookies are starting to get paid, and then you're getting some deals on some of these guys that are here now, like Malik McDowell, who we just get out of nowhere because he doesn't play in Seattle. You're going to have to pay him coming up next year or the year after. You're going to have to pay Denzel Ward. You're getting ready to have to pay Greedy Williams. You're getting ready to have to pay a lot of these guys. So it's really the fact that you're going to be shipping out guys. Do you say to yourself that Baker is the long-term solution, considering we know all the things the quarterback is going to have to mask? And we know Deshaun can mask those things. The difference is he's never had the right situation for him since he's been in the league. When you give him adequate talent, he has pushed the envelope. But this Cleveland team will by far be the most talented. It will be the best offensive line he's ever had. It will be the best running backs he's ever had. And it also would give him what he needs for him to go and hunt for a championship.
Which by the way, they're all unavailable as of right now. But that's okay. Different subject.
Again, so
different subject.
So let's attack this angle now. You're not wrong, but when you sitting in that chair, I don't even know who the Cleveland Browns GM is at the moment.
And now I think it's Andrew Berry.
That's right. So when you sitting in Andrew Berry's chair, that decision is not as easy as it sounds for a number of reasons. Because you bring Deshaun Watson. If I'm saying to you Miami is going to be division favorites and make a run in the playoffs with him, how am I not going to say that about Cleveland? You know what I mean? That would be contradictory. That would be a conflict of interest, and we are not in breaching such matters.
Bartholomew likes them words. Now go keep going.
But I know Jay does too. Shout out to Sis. But I again, it's not necessarily about whether Deshaun Watson is an upgrade. It's not necessarily about the Browns will be better with Deshaun Watson. That's not what the topic needs to be. Because there's still listen, again, you're talking about all those players. Let me focus on one thing at a time. You're talking about all those players, right? About the young players that they've drafted that are coming up that they gotta pay. Jay, who sings that song? It's cheaper to keep her. It's cheaper to keep them. It's cheaper to pay guys that you already have rather than go get guys. And the bargain bin of the NFL is always full. It is always full. Like in the certain industry I am, some of the people, some of the drivers have like a little bin,
undisclosed industry.
Yes, with a bunch of small packages. They got their big packages. They got their small packages, and the small packages are always in this bin. And some of these they just look like packages, but some of them on the inside got some very expensive stuff in it. Right? So the bargain bin is always full with people, so they can recycle. What it says is, and I'm gonna let you jump in, Ham. What it says is the Browns front office have structure. The Browns front office has vision. We talked about this the other day about who is most responsible for the Browns culture change. Baker's a part of it, but it starts with that front office. So I think if you're a Browns fan, you should feel comfortable with what lies ahead because cap-wise, they're not stricken to anything. By the time they get to these places in their cap that we're talking about, Beckham's going to be out of there. You're not going to need Odell Beckham with Deshaun Watson. So I don't think...
Or Baker.
Very good point. Yeah, Jay.
So check. Is there an NFL equivalent to birds' rights like we have in the NBA where a team is allowed to exceed the cap?
No.
As an exception to keep their own players. See, that's why the NFL jacked up like it is now.
NFL is a hard cap.
It's a hard cap versus a soft cap.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which you made the sound point of it's cheaper to keep her. It's cheaper to keep your own. or better yet, you can. I guess it's kind of in reverses because you're allowed to exceed it in the NBA, but in the NFL, you can probably cut it for the low, like a hometown discount.
Well,
yeah, and they got the structures where you can move. Move money.
That's a great
around too.
At him.
Right.
And
Well,
look at Dearness Johnson on the
always.
first from Carry Out a Rock. Number 30 from Cleveland is disgusting.
Vic,
let's go.
Vic, repeat that point, Vic, because that's a very important point to all this.
Right. The restructuring of contracts that each, they under these contracts, they give these players about 3 or 4 per contract where they can restructure and move money around and stuff like that. Right. So that's kind of
and to help, and that's to help the salary caps for different seasons, like in the Buck situations. Like in the Buck situation this year, they restructured a lot of people's deals or re-signed them.
I remember that.
Because it was cheaper to keep those type of players. But again, when we talk about cheaper to keep, this Dearness Johnson dude can really run this rock.
Yes, he can.
I'm not trying to be funny.
I don't understand how he got 1 carry last week, bro.
I don't understand why he's not on another team.
But he's not on another team for this reason, Jerm, is that they haven't stayed healthy, Chubb, and are not healthy.
That's fine, but I'm just saying, listen, he put enough film on the field for me to make a phone call and say, hey, I ain't got no running backs. Can I see what's up about 30? And they still got
from another team. Yes.
That was Felton right there that just scored.
My goodness, bro. This is what I'm saying, bro. That's so much. It's a wealth of talent, bro. And I'm not saying that Baker is not a quarterback that I feel can be a good quarterback in the NFL. What I'm saying to y'all is, no, that's actually Dearness Johnson, isn't it?
That's Dearness. Is Felton.
Oh, no, that's Johnson,
isn't it? I thought it was Felton.
That's Dearness Johnson.
Oh,
Felton's 25.
That's a real business decision, though. True.
Sure.
I feel what you're saying. So
it's just standpoint. Yeah, and I'm not. And again, this is why I wanted to have this conversation with Mo and Vic. Especially because it's not saying that Baker can't be a 12, 13 game winner. It's just saying the AFC is so tough at the top. Yeah. At the top. So if you don't have the cream of the crop, you got to have like the best roster like Cleveland has. So this year, the jury is going to be out to see what happens. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm not against it. Vic, go ahead.
No, the thing is, like, what if he is costing you $15 million cheaper than Deshaun will? You know what I mean? You can sign the Denzel Ward's back, the Greedy Williams back, the Myles Garrett. You can sign those guys back. And the thing is, bro,
it's tough.
If the Cleveland Browns are looking for a quarterback, so is 20 other teams.
Again,
you know what I mean? So
I agree with that.
There's a lot less teams. There's a lot more teams with bigger issues at that position than Cleveland. And look at how the commercials alone are telling us, from Progressive, are telling us that they've committed fully to him in that city and in that franchise.
Which is fine, which is fine and dandy, but whatever. They plug in Deshaun Watson, they go forget about it. But again, the ultimate point that cannot be missed is, like Vic just talked about it, is Baker Mayfield's contract is going to look like a bargain by the time the money really starts kicking in. And that's what's most important. And that's the ugly side of the NFL business. But go ahead, Vic.
No, and just news that I saw now, said 30 minutes ago, Jay Glazer said that not only he has a torn labrum, he also has a fractured shoulder bone. You know what I mean? So this is definitely going to require surgery. So that's something they have to consider. But what if you get a bargain because of that? What if you get less? Have to pay him less money, $25 million, like you said, as opposed to the $35 million he probably would have been asking for. You know what I mean?
Like, again,
what I find fascinating about it is Chef's telling us that Baker's money is going to look like a bargain when you get to that point. And it's like, because it's cheaper. But conversely, I was making the same argument for Mike Conley's money 5 years ago.
There you go.
It's going to look like a bargain in the next 5 years. Yeah. Here we are. And he in the last year of a deal or whatever the case, and it's like, okay, he was 30 million, but he got dudes that's 5 or 6 years younger than him that's also just getting it to 30 million now. So it actually did look like a bargain, because with the NBA, the cap number is going to go up every year, but the key that people don't realize with the NBA is that it's not necessarily the cap, it's the luxury tax line. That's where you get hit at. That's where when you get into the repeated part of exceeding the luxury tax and whatnot, like Brooklyn having to pay $200 million just in luxury taxes a handful of years back before they regutted everything and started from scratch and kind of just got
they working
on.
back. They working back at it again, Ham. They on that way.
But with that, they had to get back in it because they had.
Yeah,
they
no,
had
absolutely.
Right. Again, like
it's tough, bro. It's
no,
it's
it's
tough.
not. No,
is
it's
tough.
not.
It
No,
is
it's
tough.
not.
Because what's the
Bro,
goal?
if I'm Andrew Berry, if I'm Andrew Berry, what's that?
What's the goal at the end of the day?
To win championships.
And if Baker don't win them a championship and they had a chance to go and improve at a position.
If this was 5 years ago draft time, I would agree with you. But it's
not.
They
had a chance to draft him.
I know that.
And
I know that.
This is over.
I know that.
Do you realize this could? Do you believe in parallel universes? Because I do.
No, I don't. Well, I do, but not like human.
Trav, give me the gas.
That's a battle rap. That's a battle rap.
Do you believe in parallel universes?
My bad.
I do. Let me tell you why I believe in parallel universe. Hey, give me the gas.
Connect to the football out for him, please.
The reason why I'm saying this is, what if bringing Deshaun back into this fold with Cleveland fixes something that they messed up on before, and it turns out to be the reason why they end up winning something here in the next year or two?
Darn. Only thing parallel right now is your points. Okay.
I know they line up straight up and down. They line up.
No, but they're not connecting.
They don't have to.
What do you mean they don't have to?
This doesn't have to connect. This is simply me saying right now that Deshaun Watson makes more sense long term than Baker does. And you said financially Baker makes more sense, which is not. I gave you your check mark right there. But we said for the culture, for the.
No, but what you mean for the culture though? Like
here's my question. Here's my question.
Standpoint, that's obvious.
Here's my question.
Cleveland has to do more in order for them to get the bare minimum, Vic.
Would you rather be top heavy, or would you rather be an iceberg? Just not even a Titanic.
You know, this is a question. This is a question you should never ask a man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, first of all,
don't you ever ask a man that question. Would I rather be a Titanic or an iceberg or a top heavy?
I'm saying
top heavy. I don't want to
say as a football.
I want to be a balanced breakfast. I like balance. I like my breakfast to be balanced. I like some potatoes with some eggs.
You're making his point. You're making his
point, bro. That's what I'm saying to you. Is that with Deshaun Watson, eventually you're gonna have an unbalanced football team. And in the words of Thanos, it's gotta be balanced, baby, as all things should be.
You're not gonna have an unbalanced team with Baker.
There is
the Chiefs.
Are they not a balanced team right now?
AKA the Chiefs.
Who?
The Browns.
But that's because, Mo, the reason why is because of draft. Since 2016, Cleveland has been a draft-heavy team. Right now, we're in a situation where you now have to pay some of the guys that you now have on your team.
Yes.
So what are the four pillars of a franchise?
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
No, go ahead.
Cornerback, left tackle. I mean, it is what it is.
Okay, but here's my point.
Yo, this dude is funny.
Yo, oh my God! See, all this commotion. I even lost my train of thought. Now, here's my one question. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You said you talked about the balance with the 14. I lost my train of thought. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I lost my train of thought.
Go ahead. You pick it up. We'll give you a break.
You'll pick it up because check this out. You'll pick it up because look, here's what we got. We already know that they already have Treader, Petonio. They have Wyatt.
It came back.
Fight back, Mo. Fight back, Mo. Fight back. You gonna get it together now. You gonna get it together.
You talking about
he's choking through his rounds and stuff, man.
Fight back, Mo.
All these players.
Hold on, before
right?
he loses.
You're talking about all these players that they gotta pay, right? How does that change if they bring in Deshaun Watson? They would still have that same problem. So you don't know.
Correct.
But those players, money.
Those players that you're talking about paying, here's the difference. Denzel Ward is expendable if you bring in Deshaun Watson because you just drafted his replacement. You just drafted his replacement. You just drafted Greg Newsome to be his replacement because you drafted him in the first round, bro.
Yeah, but then you take away depth from a secondary that's already playing as a unit.
But Mo, they already have the depth. You drafted the cornerback again because this cornerback will replace the other cornerback if you choose to not re-sign him because you still have Greedy and you just brought in Ty Hill as well. And then you still have other guys that you're working around already that because Denzel Ward has not been on the field. We have to also put that out there.
So just like the Miami Dolphins, like the Washington football team, the Cleveland Browns have also underperformed according to the paperwork. According to the depth that we supposedly have in the secondary, they have not played to that level. The Dallas Cowboys have been a better defense than these three teams that I've named.
Okay, Vic, you're going a little far.
What you mean?
You're going a little far.
But
Dallas. Well, so here's the thing. Dallas has made more plays. No, Dallas has made more plays. I'm not going to say better. I'm going to say made more plays. And that's
more plays.
To be fair. I want to be fair because that's the difference here is Cleveland's not getting the turnovers that Dallas is getting. And that is a big part of why we're having this conversation now with Dallas and being inserted. You're just basically saying that it leaves room for things to be desired with what they already have. Yes, absolutely. And Vic, we talked about it earlier this week. I agree with you. There is nothing I will say to that. They have underperformed, but part of the underperforming is Denzel Ward just hasn't played well.
He's not as good as where they drafted him. He's not as good. It's just I can agree. Right. So I understand if you think you can move on from him and then start Greg Newsome and Greedy Williams. But again, that's a cornerback or the DBs is a position where the more depth you have, the better you are. So if Denzel is not playing up to this level and he's down here, he needs to require down here money. He better not.
And that's not going to. And see, that's the thing. That's the thing, though. You're coming up on a time that you're going to have to make a lot of these decisions on some of these players. And I'm just simply saying, if you know that you have a quarterback that you know is going to be there on Sunday and give you the best chance to win, it's a little different than saying, hey, I'm not sure what we're going to get out of this guy. Because right now, there is a little bit of uncertainty there.
Right. So basically what you're saying is that Deshaun plays at the level where he can mask some team deficiencies as opposed to Baker. That's how you see Baker, though. That's how you see Baker. And I get it. I get it. I still think there's some upside there.
You think he can improve in it? Some area. You think he can improve some of the areas that I'm very, very skeptical of him improving on, and that's fair.
Yeah. I just think that the receiver that he has there right now is not the biggest help. I think that they played at the best level.
The receiver hasn't been the problem this year, Vic. It really has been him being active.
It's debatable. It's debatable. It is.
Right, listen. We're gonna be here for a while. Let's pause this conversation. We got some more sports to talk about, some more football to talk about. We're gonna wait for the 94 feet of life guys to come back. We're gonna wait for the dish guys. We're gonna wait for the dish guys to come on. We're gonna talk a little baseball. Shout out to everybody in the comments. Dennis in there, Tanya in there, April in there, Dennis in there. I said Dennis already. Common Tomb 93. I don't know who that is, but shout out to you. We got a few more people in there. Shout out to everybody in the comment section, man. Again, we're gonna come back to this conversation, okay? I know Germ and Trav, and when Jay come back, there's some football. If you're in the comment section, you got any questions, hit us up. We're gonna transition to a little basketball.
And fellas. Hey, and let me know what's going on. We might add some people to it. Let y'all kick it with us for a little bit.
Yeah, we're gonna be here for
like that.
As a matter of fact, I'm finna get ready to pin. I'm finna pin that right now.
Listen,
so
the
when
viewers,
they want to, we do
this every night. But tonight we just decided to go live. So jump on, come kick it with us, have a good time. I'm going to take a little intermission. Got some commitments I got to commit to. And I shall be back in about 40 minutes and we will discuss some other things.
Where's the baseball guys at? Where the baseball guys?
They on their way.
They're on their way.
So hey, let's break some things. So Vic, real quick too, bro. I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Right now, I'm watching the Browns. Why do Case Keenum look better than Baker? It's 7-0 and they driving again.
Let's see what
it's weird, bro. This is weird. It's
bro. He's playing hurt. Do we realize that?
No, I'm not. Again, we're just talking about the things that are weird here. Mm-hmm. Like the weirdness of this is, I just seen a screen pass that looked like a screen pass that ended up going for 40 yards.
Talking about the tight end, tight end, number 81.
You know what it is, and you know what? These are things that I'm just, bro.
How many catches Odell got?
Odell doesn't have any catches.
But Jarvis.
So
go ahead.
And Jarvis is back when Baker's gone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So now there's more balance to the offense when Baker's gone.
Well, not necessarily more balance. I just see it's not necessarily it's more balance. Can I be honest with you? It just looks a little different with Dearness Johnson putting pressure on the edges. That is a part of this now.
Who's back at the tackles position?
Oh, Jedrick Wills is back tonight.
Okay. So until I see Odell being used better by Case Keenum than he did with Baker, it's gonna be the same thing, bro. If they win, they win. Cool. But if there's continuity with Case and Odell, then you have a different case. No pun intended.
Okay. So if Case and all right, Vic. Hey, Vic. Hey,
Bars.
No, that's not a no. Trav, he don't get no gas because if you give him gas and you ain't give me gas,
you missed it.
I'm not involved. I'm gonna let y'all. I will review the tape. I'll watch the battle again, and I give my own assessment from there. But man, speaking of battles, though, we got a football battle going on, and we got some basketball in here too, man. We got a village. We got Dallas and Atlanta. That's a good game going on right now. And then we got the villainous team of Miami. They playing tonight. So then
what was him talking about? He said he didn't want to see the Browns and Broncos. He'd rather see Luka versus
Trae Young. And that's what we doing, man. I'm talking about my last button, my button on here, my previous channel button is gonna get busy tonight. Very busy because everything is on, man. But what I want to talk about within basketball is we got a couple of people that's kind of upset, Jern, if they didn't make the top 75.
Oh, snaps.
Yes.
Top 75 what? Players?
Top 75 players. This they did a top 75. And Dwight Howard got pretty upset. And believe it or not, Klay Thompson had a couple of words about it too.
So those two did not make the top 75.
They did not make the. They did not. NBA. The NBA chose a top 75
before the season started.
Well, right before the season, right?
Yeah,
right before the season. And like again, Klay, and Dwight, they got a little bit upset.
Hold on. Klay, we talking about
Klay
Golden
Thompson.
State?
Yes.
Oh, for some reason I'm thinking of Tristan. My bad. I mean, I was gonna say like Tristan, mind your business, because I'm pretty sure you're not top 75, but like Klay, I mean, what do y'all feel about that? Like, y'all, you know what I mean? Y'all been heavily involved in basketball. Y'all, when y'all speak, I listen.
I mean,
well, like,
I kind of understand Klay as far as not making it, especially with the top 75. I think him not playing last year.
It's a factor that he used.
Kind of factor into it. Like I don't think.
And so
now the stuff he has done, is top 75 worthy.
Of course, I mean, shit.
Yes, but
So do you think it's that like the youth movement? Isn't there like doesn't it feel like there's more youth coming into the league?
He will be a part of their youth.
Fair.
It's just, I mean, Damian Lillard made it.
I
Dame made it.
mean, I would hope Dame is top 15,
He's
top
like, and
20.
he's like right there over there. He's like, if you consider a youth movement, he's like right over it, just a little bit, but he made it. But Dwight Howard is very interesting, John. That's the one I'm really interested. I haven't seen it, but I know that he had something to say about the top 75.
Well, I'm not.
You gotta see the list, right?
Man, I gotta look at this list because see, you know what? Let me see if I can find the list right now.
It's I got it pulled up.
Send it to me so I can look at this list real quick.
I'll be back, y'all. In a few
Okay.
minutes.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna tag you in this real quick, John, and it's right. Just scroll up just a little bit, and it should come up right there. So, and what they did this top 75. And believe it or not, majority of our top what we do a top 50. We did a top.
We
50.
just did our.
We did top 25. We did top 25. Sorry,
Jordan era.
we did a top 25, and majority of the people that we said is in that list. Majority. I'm talking about out of 25. Out of 25, I say about 20.
See something real quick.
Majority of the people we picked. So as you see, I mean, you got the people like Kareem, Ray Allen, Greek Freak, Nate Archibald, Charles Barkley, Rick Barry, Elgin, Dave Bean, Bird, Bean.
Wait, I didn't even get it. Did you tag me in the inbox or you tagged me on the thread?
I tagged you in the inbox.
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, let's look at this junk. So I mean, what we would have to do is we would have to single-handedly go by and literally talk about every single player for the most part.
Right. I mean,
that's the first thing. Then you got to remember we got to factor in certain other variables and factors. Like I'm looking at this and I'm just like, I mean, it's maybe 5 players on this list that I may ask questions about, but if they're on a top 75 list, what do I have that's going to put this player that I want to take and put over this player?
We just got to we got to break that down, and the other fellas are out right now, but when they get in, we're gonna talk about more in depth in this.
Because we can do a whole show on this.
Yes, we'll talk more in depth of it, and we'll discuss like all the people. Again, if you just skim through that list, majority of the people that we had on that list, on our list, is on that list. So we got some things we got to talk about. And did I just see Tanya just coming here too?
Is that the first lady?
Yes, she's on mute right now, but she should pop up in just a moment. Here she goes. No, we love you too, Tanya. We love you too. We love you so much.
I'm not camera presentable.
You're not camera presentable
right now, but
wow. So Ham, what's the top 75, man? Why you boy big sad? You see your boy big sad?
But I got no objections to it because even just picking 75, you have to show respect to the early eras too. It's just one of those deals, especially if you're gonna encompass all of it. You got to do it the right way. You know, so I got no real objections with it. A couple of notable notable omissions. I thought the Kimby would have been on there, but the Kimby not being on there kind of makes sense for the White not being on there. I could justify it under that, even though I probably would disagree, but whatever. Um, Outside of that, it's cool with it. I looked at it from the standpoint of like you were saying, Trav. How many of the top 25 since 2000 that we put up?
That's what that I figure you probably had a number. Did you count how many we had compared to that
I didn't.
list?
I didn't count it, but I
Yeah, we
just
gonna have
got
to
an
do that.
eyeball. I eyeballed it. I'm gonna say we had 20.
We had over 20. I want to
So
say 20.
2021, maybe I think
Yes.
somewhere in there. You know what I'm saying?
That's
But
why that's why I kind of looked at that list because I mean I looked at it and I'm like, man, majority of people we
because
still
Vince didn't
on
make
there.
it, Mac didn't make it, the White didn't make it.
Yeah. Did
That's
Chris
three right
Bosh
there.
and Chris Bosh?
Chris Bosh was on our list
Bosh
too.
on that list though.
Bosh was
was on-
25.
Yeah, so
Bosh was 25.
He on our 25, but
he
he
on
didn't make
our 25. We
75.
talking about the 75.
Oh no, he didn't make the 75.
So that's Bosh.
That's four right there.
That's
So
4.
And
That's
see,
all I know. So
here's the
that's
beauty
21.
here's the beauty of the list, though, y'all. This was funny. Our list that we did was compiled of just post Jordan era. So
Right.
this list is composed
That's
in
what
the entire
that
80 years of NBA history.
Correct.
now.
Correct.
With that being said, with the ones that we did get, they did get right with like Dominique.
That
Reggie
needed to be
Miller.
corrected. That needed to be corrected.
Right.
Dominique
what I'm
needed
saying?
to be corrected.
That wasn't on the 50. Well, Dominique should have been on the 50 without
Right.
question.
Right.
Reggie, I can understand, but then I can see Reggie making the 75 or even 25 years down the road, him being on our century squad. Absolutely. But when you get to this point at 75, it's like I knew that was going to pretty much be the basis of making up the going from 50 to 70. Because
Mhm.
who was on 50 that didn't make 75? We have to find that out too. I don't think we had none.
We got to find that. We got to find that out. We do. We really got to find it out. And once we do, we're gonna let y'all know, and we're
I don't
gonna
know if
have
we
fun
had
with it.
one though, but we could check. But that's the
Mhm.
cool part about that is that they really didn't make it hard because they ain't had to rank it. And y'all know how I hate rankings. Make your own goddamn list.
Make your
Y'all
own
know my
list.
thing. Yeah,
Make
but
your own list, man. Make your
outside of
own
that,
list.
Trey, y'all better go to World Series.
Man, I'm trying my best to hold my composure,
See,
man.
Trey, you the Braves and the Bucks paid Illuminati dues that the Spurs sacrificed. The Spurs sacrificed making shots
Dude, I'm talking.
just so Trash get
It's
a
a
Super
long.
Bowl
We
and
are
a World
long.
Series.
We on the top
Just
bottom
so
of
you
the.
get a Super Bowl and a
What's this?
World
The bottom of
Series
the
in the same
second.
calendar.
This the bottom of the second. So we have no out. So we got 20. Oh, speaking of you saying that they just do a one solo shot. So it's
See,
2-1.
I spoke too soon.
Yes, you did. That's why I don't. That's why I try to keep my composure
I
and
spoke
do
too
what I
soon.
do. So yeah, so it's 2-1. It's 2-1 right now. This is the
Where's McRib?
Ty hasn't made it yet. Big shot. What's
Ma-
going on, man?
What's going on? Thursday night scene cast extravaganza.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We were kind of chopping it up about that 75, that list of 75 and
Yeah,
how many people we had on there. We had at least 20 people.
we did well. We did
We did
well.
real good.
We had what? We missed Dwight and was Dwight the only one?
Dwight, Chris Bosh,
Dwight, Chris Bosh,
um,
and Vince Carter.
Vince, and we had one more. Who did we say? We said one
Mac?
more, right? And T Mac,
And
Tracy,
T-Mac. Yeah,
and
so
Vince,
we
and no, Vince made it, right? Did Vince make
No,
the 75?
no, Vince didn't make
Vince
75.
did,
Vince
so it's
didn't make the
5. So it's 20.
okay. 20 out of 20 out of
20 out of
25.
25 ain't bad.
We shooting 80%.
That's a good grade on the paper right now, man. That's a good grade on the paper.
If
So
it's
we
gonna be
passed.
in exchange for Dominique and Reggie Miller.
Yeah.
I'm cool with Dame getting on simply because Dame resume, but
Yes,
I get it.
yes, yes.
I was
Because even when
the
I asked the question on my main wall in regard to Dame, I was like, I'll take him, but he'll be the hardest one.
I wouldn't. I mean, we are definitely, as Ham like to say, make your own damn list. Uh, I would have exchanged Dwight Howard for Dame, or maybe some of them. Some of them old time cats from like the late 50s and 60s. I don't want to disrespect the elders, but some of y'all could have left.
Mhm.
Some of y'all could have left. I was definitely happy that Dominique and Reggie Miller made it.
Right, right. That's what we sure did speak
Yeah,
on that.
those two were the two. Like I was looking for names.
Mhm.
Those the two names I was looking for.
Yes. So yeah, I like what we done. I like what we done. The 75 is pretty cool. It's just
Yeah,
like I said at the beginning, Clay had something to say about it, and Dwight Howard had something to say about it.
I think what hurt Dwight in this particular conversation. I think we talked about this on our show.
Mm-hmm.
Dwight's career after Orlando was so all over the place that I think people probably just forgot what he was in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you look at Dwight's career, Dwight was in Orlando, what, 8 years?
Yeah.
To be fair, it was a decade ago.
Right. So he's 10 years removed from the best part of his career, and he's still playing now. It's kind of like this journeyman role player dude. And what he was in his prime is so removed. But I think Clay and Dwight both had legitimate cases though. Some of them old cats, no disrespect, some of them old cats might have to go. You know what I mean?
I think they felt like they had to put them on there just to kind of encompass everything.
Yeah.
Which is what it's like, we can have an all 75-year team without we can come with more than 75 players for the all 75 team. I'm just saying.
Right.
Y'all want to go too much back. I had 96 players on the all 75 team just cause.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta make it make sense though.
True.
And this is what you can do, people, when you make your own goddamn list. You want to have all 75 team and 98 dudes on it? Do it.
Do what you like.
It's your list.
Do what you like.
Do what you
Like
like.
Shock G said.
Man, have you like the biggest jinx ever, man? Do you know
Hey
these
man,
folks are
Trey
up?
Young is my new favorite heel in sports.
He gotta be. Especially when he go back to New York.
You can't call him great value or Dollar General step. No.
He
He's the
is
heel.
Trey
He's like
Young, the heel.
if Steph is Ric Flair, Trey is Buddy Landell.
He's a nightmare, man.
He's
a nightmare.
tough. This Hawks team, I tell you.
They good. We talked about that on our show before.
Yeah.
They're a team to look out for.
They can throw so many different players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like they have a lot of them 6'5" to 6'8" dudes.
Right.
He'll shoot the basketball. They can create matchup problems for you.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna be tough. They're not the team you want to play on the second night of a back-to-back. I say that.
No. You can't play around with them. And Ham, just when you spoke about the Braves, Max Fried over here getting his ass smacked. 3-2 Dodgers. Just that quick.
Right.
Just that quick.
So So fella, I know we in a 94 field life portion. There is going to be a dish portion of the broadcast. Definitely views from the 22 will be checking in on the Thursday night game. So this is just a live night of sports in general. Ham, I want to talk about real quick, and then I'm gonna get off the line and let y'all get back to business. I want to talk about your post today on Ben Simmons. I thought, and I ain't just saying this because we boys and we work on this thing together. I thought that was the real.
It was one of the big. It's like, yo, I couldn't kill him. I didn't want to turn it into a slander deal because it was too easy. But it was like, yo, you wonder just who's doing the coddling. You know what I'm saying? You wonder like with Rich Paul and Clutch Sports and everybody that's around him. What are y'all saying? What are y'all having? What conversations are y'all having when y'all meet? In regards to, because see, Trav's talked about it, I talked about it as well. You as well, Big Shot. We can't hide the fact that it's a 2-possession game with under 4 minutes to go. Game 4, 3, whatever. You at home on the road, second round, whatever the case may be, just the base scenario, and you turn to Casper. And you actually turn into a ghost on film. That's the crazy part. And you can only get, and we all know Doc. Doc is one of them. He's pretty much cut and dry. But in the case for Joel, who was there when he got there, Joel spoke on this as well. We seen, first of all, we got rid of Jimmy. That was a mistake. We actually catered and put people around him that where he could make plays. JJ Redick, spot up, catch, shoot. You know what I'm saying? Danny Green, catch, shoot. Seth Curry, spot up, catch, shoot. But we can't even get you to make the plays to set them up and catch the shoot because you're running from the basketball. Doc just cut and dry, got frustrated, like, yo, we can't win a championship that way. Where did he lie?
He's the second best player on the team, and he's unplayable in the fourth quarter when you need him the most.
And this ain't because he just terrible from the foul line. We can deal with that part. Big Shot, you said it many times. The part we can't deal with is when you are not aggressive, when you don't even try to be in attack mode.
His lack of shooting isn't the issue. His unwillingness to be aggressive,
right,
and take the ball to the basket to draw traffic, to kick out to those shooters, or to get fouled, or to create a situation is the problem. We've seen plenty of guys get by without being great deep ball shooters. Plenty. Grant Hill didn't become a 3-ball shooter until the injuries. Grant Hill and
he couldn't move no more.
Grant Hill in his prime wasn't gonna shoot a jump. But guess what's gonna happen? Guess what? I'm taking off. I'm going right past you. I'm gonna blow past you. Foul, layup, dunk, assist.
We can put a lot on Elton Brand. We can put a lot on Daryl Morey. We can put a lot on Doc Rivers, Brett Brown, everybody that's been involved in that
film,
man. That part we can't put on them.
That's the part that had me tripping, was that people, we see a lot of commentary keep that in the locker room. This is not a government secret that this man don't want to shoot.
He can't shoot the ball. He don't want to
shoot. This ain't G14 classified information.
Right.
Everyone knows this. This ain't so.
I mean, it's not just that he won't shoot the ball. We see it's on film. He passed up a dunk.
Right up on the goal. Passed it. past it.
Eastern Conference semifinals.
And now he's trying to put it on mental health and back stiffness.
Oh, it's a mental health issue. You know why it's a mental health issue? Because he's a narcissist. That's why this whole approach to this thing is narcissistic, and that's what's making her look bad. Like today, back today, but they say his back. He told him that his back was hurting.
But you went into work to tell people your back hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, it's crazy, man.
Come on, man.
Being on heel activity, man. Except he on the heel activity that ain't gonna draw no money. He gonna be in a cruiserweight match. No,
he gonna lose. He gonna lose money because Philadelphia just gonna be late.
And when you speak on that, when they saying trade him, where
his value is dropping by the day.
Who sees this and be like, "Hey, let's go take a chance on him"? We can't even say that the Knicks are doing that because the Knicks like, "No, fool, we straight." Worldwide West, them ain't going.
Yeah, they ain't. You're gonna have to give up too much to get him purely for his salary.
Exactly.
He got what, like 125, 130 million left on his.
He getting 34 mil this year. You got to give up 34 million in contract. Which means
there's not enough money. There's not enough money just from a mid-level standpoint for you to just trade small pieces. You have to trade a big piece just to be able to get them on your roster. Because there is only maybe 3-4 teams, one of them being Oklahoma City, that are going to be substantially under the cap to be able to absorb that hit. Toronto could absorb the hit, but Toronto's in a situation where why would you disturb the core of your basketball team to bring in somebody who's not going to shoot?
Scotty Barnes ain't going to run from the basketball.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, it's one of those situations where you ask yourself, what kind of situation are we really in? And Ronnie, you said the perfect thing. It's not about missing the free throws. It's about at least putting the pressure on the defense, because a foul is still a foul at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it still does something. It doesn't matter if you go up and you clank 2. If as long as it ain't no zeros on that clock and you clanking 2 in the fourth quarter, that's an opportunity for you yourself to get your mental together for you to be able to take care of your business.
Yeah.
The only way you're going to get better at shooting free throws is if you shoot them.
Yeah. Right. And he has a fatal, that unwillingness to shoot in that situation is a tough flaw, because if I'm a contender, what's to say he's not going to do that to us? We in game 5, down 3-2 in the series in the fourth quarter. He going to do it to us.
And he's been in the playoffs on 3 separate occasions, right? The first year, that's when that young Boston team got him. They beat him 4-1. He had like 1 point in that game, one of those games.
Yeah.
1 point. The next year, as we've mentioned several times before, Kyle Lowry took you out the game in game 6. 7.
And 7.
Yeah,
game 6 and 7.
Really 5, 6, and 7, to be honest. Kyle Lowry. You 6'10", Kyle Lowry is listed at 6'1".
You a foot taller than that man. Exactly. Legitimately a foot taller.
Exactly my point. And then you have Trae Young. You got Trae Young on your hip game. What was this? Game 6, game 7? You could have taken it to the rack and bang on him. You made an NBA line pass back out to the perimeter. What you doing, man?
I don't know.
You got one in every playoff.
I see. It's a Cam Reddish sighting out here.
Yes.
Pattern.
There's a pattern, and if you're a team, there's and Jerm talked about Oklahoma City or Toronto. It's got to be a team. It's got to be a city that has no pressure, or that has no pressure, low expectations, and is willing to take a risk on the talent.
I don't mean to be disrespectful to the women of Oklahoma City, but they might not be the IG models of his liking in Oklahoma City. That might work.
Oklahoma City wouldn't work either, Ham. You know why? That's a young team that plays hard.
Bad
Men
habits.
stop playing hard. That automatically messes with what? Again, the core of your basketball team. Cam Reddish is out here on some ski mask.
Hey, Cam Reddish is sick, fool.
And we talked about that in the preview. Cam Reddish might be the most talented player on this Atlanta team.
That man hoping, man.
And they still got Trae Young. So it's like it's crazy.
With Trae Young, Reddish, Herter, Bogdanovich, DeAndre Hunter, they have a lot to work. They got a lot to work
right there.
That's my guy. Danilo. They got a lot to work, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think if you're Philadelphia at this point, and I know they don't want to pay it. I understand why you don't want to pay it.
They may have to eat.
But at this point, you just got to send dude home until we figure it out.
Right. You got to find a way. You got to send him home until you figure out. You exactly
send him home. He got one. Like all the NBA players got a crib in LA.
Right.
Just go home to LA. We'll call you when something breaks.
Mm-hmm. You gotta get on there. Aaron Rodgers playing RELAX. Relax.
Let's go home.
You gotta figure it out. And then they gonna, sooner or later they gonna dock him. They're gonna dock his pay. So you might well get ready for it. But at the same time, they gotta figure out, the Sixers gotta figure out a way to get him gone.
You can't let it, despite what Daryl Morey said today, you can't let it linger.
Mm-hmm.
I think when Jimmy Butler got traded, it was about 2 weeks in.
Mm-hmm.
James Harden got traded in last year, about 2 or 3 weeks in?
Yep. It was about 2 or 3 weeks in. He had on that fat suit, then turned around, took that fat suit off, and was at the Brooklyn Nets, slim, trim, and ready to go.
Yeah, you might just have to
he put on that Big Mama's house, huh?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. I just think you might have to send him home for it. Just send him home till you figure it out. Because
that's $33 million. Y'all talk now. Here's the thing: y'all talk so bad about another player, and that player standing for something, and here we are don't even want to play. Make it make sense, man. I'm just being honest. We know Kyrie to show up to work and play. Y'all talk about, he's too. Y'all mad at one player for one thing, but then defend another player. I don't get that.
That's life, Jerm.
I think
you pick. You pick what you want to pick.
I just think with Kyrie, the choice ultimately. I think with the Nets situation, the Nets are like, look, the Nets literally just can't do anything.
Right, and it's his.
We can't do nothing.
He can't do nothing, and it's Kyrie's decision.
It's right. The Nets.
The thing about this also is, if the word on the street is he was supposed to get an exemption from the mayor. That's the word.
They better make that happen.
So that was supposed to had already happened. So if that's what he's waiting for currently, that's something that a lot of people don't have access to that information because they're sitting here listening to all the lazy stuff.
Now, I'm gonna say this. That could be very well true. If that happens, though, knowing New York City, that mayor gonna have to basically change the law
he's gonna have to change a lot. He's gonna have to change. He had to change it because
you do it for
him.
Yeah, because if you do it for Kyrie, you got to do it for millions and millions of people. And I think that's a road he don't want to go down. But
and I'm with you. And see, I'm with you on that. But they have exemptions in place for people who don't want to get the vax or don't want it or whatever the case is, can't have it. So it depends on how you put it together.
Yeah,
And
it
I
would
agree
have
with
to be done very delicately. Very delicately. But I think with the Kyrie situation, the difference between Kyrie and Ben is the Nets, until that exemption happens, that law changes, the Nets just can't do nothing.
Mhm.
And it's just
in this
really
situation, they
just
can't.
can't. They can't do nothing. Like, I'm sure the Nets would love to have him there.
And that's
Just
the
can't.
but you see what I'm saying when I say the difference. That's the difference. The player and the team are on the same page, at least with the
Right.
situation. If we're not even getting the player and the team being on the same page with Ben, because Ben either don't want to play or there's something wrong. And Ben, I'm not against Ben in this situation, but I think Ben has to understand what he's asked to do is simply just be aggressive. That's all you're being asked to do here. There's no other way around it. What you say, Future?
That's my thing, John. What makes you get your way? Like they say, you want to go to a team in LA, California. All right, Ben, you get to California.
Then what?
Then what? Then what?
That's gonna automatically fix your jumper?
No. See, that's
they're
the
gonna
thing.
They're gonna fix your mentality.
And that's the question at hand. What is your work ethic, man? Your work ethic, it has to show. We can't be on Twitter seeing these little highlight clips of you playing Rico Hine boys and shit like that. We can't be seeing it. Because it don't count until like camera action. And right now, you scared of that camera, you scared of them lights. And then I think it's more of this social media deal. He own it. He be saying what they be saying. And he tired of it. He don't want to do it. He don't want to make a mistake. He afraid to make a mistake.
Right. I just think he don't deal with pressure.
Right. Can't deal with pressure.
High pressure situations is something that you signed up for that as an NBA player.
Now, you signed for that when you playing basketball on the elite level.
Yeah.
High school.
You a near max player, all-star talent.
Right.
Why would you think there's gonna playing in Philadelphia? Like, why would you think there's gonna be no pressure?
Mm-hmm.
What do you like? So I just don't know. I just don't think a trade doesn't fix him.
Trade fixes nothing. You know what I don't think a trade gonna do? Only thing a trade gonna do is get a change of scenery and either makes Philadelphia a better contender or not a better contender.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's gonna happen. It ain't
like
nothing else that's gonna change, bro.
And just like you were saying, Jerry, if I'm one of these teams that's not very good with a bunch of young players, why do I want to bring him here knowing he's not going to be coaching?
It makes it damn near impossible. It makes it an untradeable player damn near.
Yeah.
Do you want that on your roster?
You know what I'm saying? Like Oklahoma City. If I'm an Oklahoma City or Minnesota, I don't want him polluting these other players.
Right. That's it. You don't want to because his bad habits is it can get contagious.
I don't want, if I'm Minnesota, I don't want him anywhere near Anthony Edwards.
Mm-mm.
I don't want him anywhere near him.
Mm-mm.
So you could bring all that. Now you're right, Jaron. He is as close to the word untradeable as you can get.
What more? What are you gonna get for
$34
million and you can't shoot free throws and you suspect as shooting jumpers?
I'm gonna tell you that the one trade I would make, and even then I still wouldn't make it because I don't want him around my young players. Was somebody said John Wall for Ben Simmons? The money matches.
Mm-hmm. That was
again,
I think that was worldwide or MJ.
Mm-hmm. But again, if I'm Houston, young players, trying to build a culture, do I want him near it?
In Houston, he takes away again. He takes away what you have in Houston because what is the first thing that he does? Is he's a player that commands the ball. So by commanding the ball, you taking the ball out of the hands of the young players that you just had on your team that you really wanted to see anyway this year.
Jern, I don't think that he commands the ball. I think he plays that position because that's just a position that was presented. Because when you look at it, if a person commands the basketball, what you gonna do at the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter? You're gonna command the basketball.
We'll say it like I'll say it like this. Ben is gonna come in and want to be the facilitator.
Yeah.
And that's in this situation, that's what he does best, right? So so thanks for making me change the words so we can make sure we get it right. He's the facilitator. That's what his best
attribute is a facilitator. There you go.
Put the ball in the hand.
There you go.
And to be able to make plays for others off a pick and roll in the open court and those type of things.
There you go.
That could be the thing that could be very well good for that team. But the other part of it is when he's not doing that, what else can he do for the said team?
It's like he's you can't put him in a half court set. He has to be on a break, and that's a flaw.
And that because again, he has to be in the open court or on a break because the floor and when the teams are set to stop him in a half court situation, it changes the entire dynamic of the player.
Yep.
He's not as aggressive as he is going to the basket in a fast break situation that he is going in half court. And it's a noticeable difference.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, and it's like, what does he want at this point? What he want the hell out of Philly. That's what he want. That's what he want because he know that he's not needed no more. It's a flaw. I mean, and like we said earlier, I mean, it didn't take Doc in the organization to see like, hey man, you can't do this. You don't fit the team that we're trying to present to go to the finals.
Right.
That we're trying to put out here. You don't fit. You doing stuff. He ain't it. And it didn't take that. I don't think if you look at the games, you can see it, especially during the playoffs. It shows up every time.
Yeah. He's an extremely talented player with
That's a long pass there, Trey. You got to be careful with that. You don't make that pass.
Mm-hmm. He just has a huge flaw in his game. But more important than a flaw, he has a big personality issue. Big personality issue that if you're a team, you are just not jumping to bring that on board. So it's going to be interesting. Well, look, I'm going to get to the second game. I know we got the dish coming up, S.C.E.N cast, Thursday night football action.
Yes, sir. We got everything on, man. So we'll be looking forward to seeing you back on here real soon, Big Shot.
I'm gonna get out of here because I see Category 5. I see the First Lady. I see Vic all on mute, which means I'm sure they waiting to get. I'm gonna use a baseball reference. They ready for me to go to the pen, bring in the righty. I'm a skate, fellas. It was good talking to y'all. S.C.E.N cast 94 views. The Dish Thursday Night Live. Y'all know what it is. I'm out of here.
All right, Big Shot.
This is just for you, Trev.
This is my.
This is just for you, Trev.
I might look just like Freddie before he got his teeth fixed.
He does.
I should have known when Category came in on on
He
with
couldn't
the
let me see
he
it.
was
He couldn't let me
he was
see
on
it.
some trash. I should
He
have
couldn't
known.
let me see
I've been,
it.
No, something was going on. I should have
I've been
known.
sitting here the whole time I've been on, searching for the right background.
He couldn't see it. And man, he got it. He got him. He got him. Freddie trying to play some good ball tonight, man. Dude, what is going on with Max Free?
Not playing good enough. They're down by 1.
Yes, like Max Free, he didn't pop what's
So
that Trey? What's that Trey in the head? I mean in the
I
side
don't know.
shoulder?
I just
That
got
was a
a
wild
little bit
pitch.
ago. I just got it on.
Trey Turner, he hit Trey Turner in the shoulder. Almost let up 3 home runs. He did 2. Lux hit 1, and then Taylor hit a 2-run shot. And then Mookie went up to bat. He hit one deep to the warning track.
Oh my God, bro! Did you see that pitch just now?
Dude, I don't even want to see it.
Because I was listening, but it sounds like Max just doesn't have his control.
No, he does not.
He doesn't have his command tonight. He just threw Albert Pujols a 95-mile-an-hour 4-seam right in the middle of the strike zone.
And Albert didn't even pull the trigger.
No, he did. He just was a little bit late. He fouled it off.
And this Albert's second hit. It's Albert's second hit.
Oh, nice. That's a good piece of hitting right there. You see that nice, easy swing?
Mm-hmm. Just put it in play.
Yep.
He been swinging power.
Yep.
He ain't been swinging to get on base.
That's textbook right there. He's looking fastball. He got an off-speed pitch. He stayed behind it and just put the wood on it, pause, and got the ball in play.
He hit it right there in between.
So
right there.
we got this game going on here. Let's talk about the ALCS temporarily here for a second as we got you there 5. This is not even about this is not a gloat session or anything like that, because this has been a very, very interesting series.
When you got to preface it with that, that's what it's about to be.
No, not at all. We're going to talk about the Red Sox. We're going to talk about the Red Sox.
All right.
Because we're talking about a team that hit 3 grand slams in a course of 2 days, 2 grand slams in 2 innings, the first inning and the second inning.
Wow.
We're talking about one of the best offensive postseasons we've probably ever seen from a team. So from that standpoint, moving forward in the future, what does the forecast look like for the next couple of years for that team, just in general?
I think he watching that blooper that caused the home.
No. I was listening. I'm thinking. I don't know their contract situation very well, though.
When Jorge jumps on, we'll talk more about that part. We'll do some forecast work because I think.
Oh, here he is.
Okay, cool. I'm interested to see how it goes because it's a lot of interesting things with that team dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, we're talking about one of the better hitting lineups in baseball and all those different things. But the thing here that's the most interesting is that moving forward in the next year or two, are they going to be able to keep these core guys that they have intact and continue to build on the things that they need to build on, which, of course, the pitching staff, the relief pitchers, those type of things. So, Jorge, welcome to the show, of course. Welcome to the cast. Do you have any idea of the forecast for the offensively talented Boston Red Sox over the next couple of years?
As far as contracts or
yes, contracts.
That's what I don't know very well is their contract situation. So
I don't. And you know what? I was actually thinking about that today because their offensive is fine, but what they got to worry about is getting some gloves out there, man. So to help with that defense, I don't know honestly what their contract situation looks like. But I know one player that they definitely have to keep without a doubt is JD Martinez. That's the nucleus around all of that, and they have
100%.
That he has to stay. And I'm actually looking up to see what kind of contract he has. He's actually signed through next year, so he has one more year left on his. Well, he has one more year left on his contract, which was 5 years, $109 million. So they have to keep him. That's for sure. But as far as all the other players they have, Verdugo, Bogarts. Bogarts is a must keep. You're not gonna find a shortstop or infielder, second baseman that does what he does and puts the number that he puts up. And then also the kid they have on third base is his name left my mind. Not what's his name? Storms.
Ooh, my bad. I was looking down at the contract.
The third baseman for the Boston Red Sox. Not Bogarts, but
Devers.
Devers. There you go. They have to keep him. He's always top 5 in RBI, so they have to keep those 3 guys.
So notable free agents for next year: Ottavino, Eduardo Rodriguez, Jose Iglesias, Hansel Robles. That's it. Danny Santana, Chris Herman, Travis Shaw. Everybody else is either under contract or arbitration. So Devers will be in his first year of arbitration, as will Hunter Renfroe, Kevin Plawecki, Austin Bryce. So they've got almost everybody next year still.
So defensively, here's the question.
Yeah.
Can they just get better with repetition?
It'll help, but I think they need to bring in somebody probably in the outfield. I don't know if Hunter Renfroe is going to be a guy that's going to stick around. They need somebody who is going to not misplay the ball off of walls. A guy who's not. They need more putouts in the outfield. They can't be 2 errors every other night during the regular season and then expect their defense to hold up in the playoffs. Because what's happening, look what happened last night. Two of Chris Sale's 4 runs were unearned because they committed 2 errors. I hadn't gotten the game on at that point yet. I actually haven't seen those plays, so I don't know how bad it was. But it's been saying it all year, and we said it just recently. Even when we're wrong, we're right. The Red Sox are here, but just looking at the box score, it looks like the shoddy defense is what got everything started last night.
I mean that, and now they're down 3-2 in the series where they were up 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's a huge difference, and errors come into play a lot in the postseason. So Devers is signed through next year as well. That's one guy that they need to get extended this offseason.
That's a bad boy.
Yeah,
Devers is first year of arbitration. So he's got arbitration for 2022 and 2023, and then he's a free agent in 24.
Okay, so he's a free agent in 2 years. So they need to extend him this year because he has earned every single penny since he started playing for them. He has been the last 3 years in the lead or talked about in the top 5 for RBIs in all of baseball. Mm-hmm. And all he does is rake. He's 279 batting average in 5 years, and he has a total of 367 RBIs in 5 years, with one of those years being a COVID year. Mm-hmm. That kid just straight rakes, and he has to be a part of that nucleus, period. He shouldn't be going anywhere.
Speaking of defense, you know who else I'd be looking at retaining, and somebody that most people probably won't even look at just because he doesn't have the name value, but Jose Iglesias. Oh yeah, that is a guy that will give you a ton of valuable innings late in games. Coming, you have a 3-run lead, you put him in as a defensive change. I mean, stuff like that, and that's something that the Red Sox didn't do much of this year. Another thing we talked about a while back was they didn't use very many different players. They're not that deep. That would be an underrated depth signing, in my opinion. I mean, even though it'd just be retaining him, but keeping him around would, I think, be a big deal.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the Red Sox on the left side of the infield, they're fine. They're with third baseman with Devers and shortstop and Bogarts. That's the middle of the lineup. And then JD Martinez can play some first base. He doesn't necessarily have to be DH. He can play first base. He can handle his own. Now, where they need help in is the second base. Arroyo is not cutting it, and Iglesias can fit in perfectly in second base. That could be his replacement.
Exactly. Yep.
And you put JD in first, and you DH him when you want. And what you do is you put if you want to retain Kyle Schwarber, he would be your DH because we've seen what impact he can have. Crazy, but at the top of the lineup, hitting home runs for both the Nationals and Boston. We've seen it in the playoffs, and we've seen it with the Nationals, where he had 10 home runs in 13 games or something like that. It was something.
No, it was crazier than that. I think it was 16 and 18.
Something like that. It was something crazy like that. But that's where you start fitting in those pieces, and you start looking internally where you can fix it instead of spending money and trying to spend money in places where you actually need it, which is your starting pitching and your bullpen, because you need help.
And they should be given taking a long, hard look at re-signing Ottavino too.
Yes. Agreed. So the Boston, in all honesty, have the pieces internally, but they just have to use them. The problem is that Iglesias wasn't able to be used is because he got signed late from the Angels, and he wasn't able to be on the postseason roster. And the Angels just dropped him, and we talked about this, Storms. They dropped him because he didn't get playing time. He's an older body, and even Joe Madden said he's an older body. He's not going to get playing time here. We want him to go play somewhere else. Which, as far as the Angels go, that's sort of a dumb move, because who do you have now? And now that hopefully your best player, well, your 1A to 1B, because Ohtani now is undoubtedly their best player.
Yeah, but what they did was they let their best defensive infielder go.
Yeah. When you're getting healthy, meaning Trout comes back next year. So now you're going to be looking for what, a second baseman? Which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, Germ, to answer your question in the long and short, they have the pieces internally. They just have to be able to use them and move them around and use them wisely, because you can play JD at first base, but it's kind of like playing at this point Miggy at first base. You can play him there, but you don't really want him to play there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you can fill in that spot with him being there, but in baseball, we know that whoever's out of position, the ball will find him. So they have the pieces. It's just a matter of using them wisely and getting another. I think what Storm said, getting an outfielder, that'll solve a lot of problems that they're having.
What's up, Kendra? Who's Tyrell?
Shut up, Storms. I love your background, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that's good.
That's dope. That's dope.
So, fellas, this was a brief little thing. We're talking about the Red Sox because obviously we're talking about probably the best team still, best offensive team left in the postseason, considering what they've done this year, and that type of thing. Like I said, 2 grand slams in 2 innings.
Most home runs.
It was a situation where it's 3 grand slams in 2 games, 9 runs, 11 runs in the next game. It's 20 runs in 2 games.
Yeah.
That's an explosiveness that you got to pay to see that type of explosiveness in baseball. You got to really be good.
Yeah, but see, they're down 3-2 because they're also allowing that type of explosiveness.
Yeah.
See, in this situation for the Astros, what's weird is I don't ever fear again. And if you're the Astros, you say the magic number is 6. You got to score 6 runs to beat them. They're going to score 5 runs, no matter. come hail, rain, sleet, snow, they're going to score 5 runs 9 out of 10 nights. That's just like a threshold for them. So if you score 6 runs, that puts pressure on them to have to score more runs. That's when you may be able to force them to get them out of their comfort zone. But then they're such a patient group that it's weird. Like, if you notice the way that they approach the plate, the situation is never too big. It's never a rush. They're never swinging at pitches they don't want to swing at. Those are things like that's baseball maturity.
That's the difference. And I told Storms as soon as Boston beat Tampa and Houston beat the White Sox, that is the difference between the series that Boston won against Tampa, because Tampa strikes out a lot. And Houston's going to put pressure on your defense to make a play. And Houston's the type of team that they will make you make the throw for an extra base that they want to take. You know what I mean? And they will make you make an awkward play or make an awkward throw because they know that their offense is that good. They'll put the ball in play. You know who they remind me of? They remind me of the Kansas City Royals of 2015, where they put the ball in play and they make you make a play. And you saw with the Kansas City Royals in the World Series against the Mets. The Mets just couldn't make the plays, and that's why they lost the World Series. And the Royals put pressure on them. They knew it. They know that they're okay. This is where they're soft at. This is where we're going to attack them. And that's what Houston does. Houston puts pressure on the defense.
1 through 9, they put pressure on the defense. If they bring them off the bench, they can still hit. It's a scary thing. It's a couple of games that I'm just looking like, I'm in awe. And that's my team. I'm in awe. I'm like, yo, I love the way he handled this situation. You know, like it was Correa and the midget, bro. I told Vic earlier, and Vic need to understand, you can't have Correa. You just can't have him. He's not fit for the Yankees. The Yankees are not allowed to have any Astros players because they will not contribute to that abomination in the Bronx.
The Yankees will pay him.
Abomination. See,
you know, this offseason is gonna be crazy for Correa. Correa is gonna get paid, and he's gonna get paid a lot of money to go either stay or go somewhere. And it's crazy the amount of money he's gonna get. He
deserves a lot.
He's
Hated man.
Huh?
How old is he?
I don't know. I want to say he's like 28, maybe 28, 29.
Got to pay that man.
27. He's 27 years old.
Okay.
Oh, so he's not even in the prime
27.
yet.
So I mean, if the marquee free agent deals of the last 10 years mean anything, you're probably going to have to give him 8, right?
Yeah.
8 years at 30.
What did he want from the Astros? I forget what were they like arguing about? Was it like guaranteed money? Was it just the amount? What was it?
I think it was the guaranteed amount. I don't know how much it was that they were arguing about, but to be honest with you, Storms, it'll probably be more money than that, man. 8 years, 30 million. That's. I would say he's going to get more than that.
Who sets the market? Is it going to be Seager or is it going to be Correa? Because Seager's up, his contract.
No,
up too.
it's going to be Story.
No, it's gonna be whichever one of the 3 signs first, because the next 2 are gonna be more expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
If you look at it that way, then Lindor just set the market.
He did.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
Too.
that's a good point.
That's the way it works. The last guy who was the best, or is the last guy who's a top 5 shortstop to sign, the next guy who's a top 5 shortstop to sign gets a little bit more than him.
Yeah, and see, here's the thing. I can't and y'all know I like Seager. Y'all know I like Seager. We talked about Seager last year. Talked about Seager in general. I just don't. I think Seager's in that mid tier. I think you got tier 1, obviously, where you get your guys that are great defensive first, your great defensive shortstops. He's in that tier 2, where he's just a solid guy. He's going to be solid. He's going to be a good guy that you can plug in the 2-hole in your lineup. You're not going to plug him any lower than maybe 3. And that's just what it is, bro. You're not going to get some of the same things. With Correa, you got a 3 or a 4 hole hitter who can go as low as 6 if you need him to.
Put it this way.
And he's a plus defender.
In my mind, Corey Seager is no more or less valuable than Javi Baez.
Ouch.
That's interesting. That's interesting that you say that, considering that Baez is what? A second baseman.
Yeah,
What?
Second baseman, shortstop. Yeah.
Because
I mean, he's a shortstop that's playing second base because he's on the same
for his
team
pal,
as before.
for his buddy.
Well, he's been playing second base.
Yeah.
He had been playing second base.
So I think Baez is better than Seager, and the reason why I say that is because Baez brings that like running base ability that a lot of players don't have, and a lot of players in the league don't have. Like, he knows when to take an extra base. He knows when to go first to third. He knows when to go second to home. He runs through signs because he knows he can make it. But the thing that frustrates me with him the most is how he chases out of the strike zone. And it's so frustrating seeing it because you know he's going to do it. And everybody's like, throw him out, away, and down.
Don't touch the fire. Don't touch the fire. I'm going to touch the fire anyway.
Exactly. I know I'm going to get burnt, but oh well. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So, and going back to Seager, actually, if they don't want to keep Iglesias around Storms, Seager would actually be a pretty good fit for the Red Sox. You can slide him over to second base if the Dodgers decide to part ways with him, which it's up to them. And also going to the contract, Lindor got 10 years, $341 million.
You know what though, Jorge? I hear what you're saying and everything, and the base running ability is great. But you know what else? You know what Seager brings to the table that Baez can't? He strikes out about half as much.
Yeah.
Better on base percentage, better contact. I mean, Seager checks those against Baez, in my opinion.
Even with that being said, I'm not using analytics just to build my baseball team. So, with that being said, I don't want that dude over somebody who I need in certain situations. See, also, this is another thing. It really is. It's also the contingent on what you need on your team.
Yeah.
That's also the other part of this.
Yeah.
Because if you need a low strikeout guy, then Seager is probably going to be the guy.
Yeah.
If you need a guy who can get on base and push the envelope because you don't have a lot of base stealers or you don't have a lot of guys who are good on the base, good on the bags, then you're probably going to go with Baez. So it's kind of like one of those situations. I mean, to be honest, that's why I brought up Lindor to set the market with the 10 years and the 341 million, because Correa should be right in that same range, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
We're talking about him being a better bat, but just a little bit slightly less, better shortstop than defensively.
And he's done it in the playoffs, and he told you it's his time. It's not only his time they don't run, his time to get paid.
Exactly.
With that being said, too, so to even bring Trav into the conversation, this is where we talk about with the Tatis situation and how that all goes. With Tatis being a good defensive shortstop as well, but being a better bat, like it's really hard to evaluate the shortstop position. But then Correa checks so many boxes. What does he average, Jorge? Doesn't he average like 40? What is he averaging? 35 home runs a season? Something like 100 RBIs or something, or right around in that range?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
For his 162 game average, he's oh my God, he's 29 home runs, 105 RBIs, and 277 batting average, and he only strikes out about 140 times a year.
So that's one time per game that you may get a strikeout in the situation with a player like that. Hey man, hey, listen, tell the tail of the table to not come back on with that.
That boy came on with the cap jersey, man.
But I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Again, that those numbers alone, bro, make you wonder what you have to pay him, bro. You have to. You let him go somewhere else. What are you gonna replace him with? What you gonna do?
Listen, they can't afford. They were able to lose Springer because they had Tucker, waiting in the wings to take over. Who's gonna take over for Carlos Correa?
Nobody, baby.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. It's like
saying we're gonna let Altuve go because we have somebody that can take over from him. Yeah, you may have somebody to take over from him, but it ain't gonna be Altuve.
No,
you know what those two. If it comes when it's coming down to it, and I'm gonna pass this to transition to Vic because he's gonna talk about Alvarez. But I'm gonna be honest with you, like those two players, in my opinion, if you're Houston, those are your culture setters. Like you can't let go of the midget or Correa.
You got
those
to keep
your
them.
culture setters.
You got to keep them.
I don't care if the midget struggles all season, bro. When the lights is bright, that's if you are what you say you are, a superstar. That's him.
No fear.
Bro, the home run to tie the game yesterday in the 8th inning. Bro, I was like,
Vic,
what?
Now that you're here, you still remember that home run off of Chapman, right?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I remember
the one they were knocking the trash can like fastball coming.
Y'all know Correa already said he's not coming back, right?
That's what I was gonna. That was gonna be my next question. Is I haven't really dug deep into the Correa situation.
Did he say that?
Is it?
He said he will not be back in Houston.
He said that.
Is it a situation?
Yeah, like he's made several different type of statements to the media where he was saying things like, trying to enjoy my last season here in Houston. Yeah. Like that kind of
Is it a situation where he's been rejecting offers? And he just doesn't have a plan to come back? Because baseball, we don't
they
have.
were talking about an extension for a minute and couldn't agree.
Yeah, baseball doesn't have like a franchise tag or nothing like that. So you free to like they have the arbitration years, which clearly he's done enough.
Crying like the Tin Man in the
time. Yeah, he's done enough service time to get off of arbitration. But that's interesting, man. That he doesn't want to come back.
Well, Correa said they weren't even close when the Astros were negotiating. The Astros offered him 6 years and 120, and then 5 years and 125.
You did what?
With those numbers, he said we're not even close.
That's 25 million.
You basically double that. You get 10 years, 250, and Lindor got 10 years, 341. Dude. So that's disrespectful.
Yeah. So he won't Lindor money.
Yep.
He deserve it.
He does.
Yeah, Jeremy, but you paying somebody until they're 37 years old. Like the dude is freshly 27, but damn, I could see that. I mean,
but here's the thing, Vic. In baseball, it's two things that Correa does very, very well in baseball that transition to your 37. One of them, he got good hand-eye coordination. And the other one, that power that he has to be able to hit opposite field, that stays when you're 37, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
when you're 37.
You know what?
Sooner or later, you're not a shortstop anymore. Are you ready to put him at third?
But you know what he can be? You know what he can be? A second baseman. Because he'll still give you the shortstop range that you need in this age.
The shortstop
and then you just bring along a nice young prospect right there. That's what you do. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, I can build a baseball team.
There's plenty of precedent for that. Votto's still not at the end of the 10-year deal that he signed. Albert Pujols' 10-year deal expired, I think, when he was 37.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like that's something that we haven't seen before.
And baseball is a sport that you can play into your 40s as long as you do certain things well.
Yeah, but there's only been a select
hit tour.
Yes, but there is a select amount of people that we could probably count on our hands that played like at an elite level to their 40s though.
Well,
Barry,
and
you're not
also,
consistent.
and also,
hold on, y'all, real quick.
Nelson
He's not
Cruz.
He's not consistent because in baseball he this way, in football he's a total different way. So you defend
That's two
Baker
different-
earlier.
That's two different
Baker
sports.
earlier.
That's
Hold
two
on,
different sports.
I gotta throw this in there though. Vic, that's exactly the reason that these players demand a 10-year contract.
yeah,
Because
Is
they
it 'cause they
can't
think
get
they
that
get-
money when they're 36, 37 years old. That's exactly why it happens. And they
Yeah.
have the power to say, you know what? If you're not going to give me 10 years, you go sign someone else.
How many shortstop played until they was 38? This is
listen.
I
one.
can only think of two.
This is one. This is
No,
one
that's
right here.
two. No, that's two, not one. That's number two.
Hey,
What's
shoot,
some name?
Cal Ripken was
What's some
30.
name?
Cal Ripken was 58 when he left. Then
He was a third baseman at the end of his
Third
career.
baseman. Well,
Yeah, he
what about
was.
Miguel Tejada and then Derek Jeter? But those are Hall of Fame guys.
So, okay, and,
And
to go
Miguel
back,
played third base to the end of his career.
Ripken was an AARP member 10 years before he retired.
yo, but
and y'all stupid.
Go ahead. Jorge.
but don't forget, Vic, baseball is also the only other sport to where they sign a 10-year contract, they'll get through 6, and they'll have the team that they trade him to pay 2 more of those years. So that team that he gets traded to won't actually absorb any of the contract. So it can be a win-win depending how it's worked out and depending if it pans out for the player. And
I'm sure the team that like the Mets, they gave Lindor a 10-year deal. They're basically looking at it how effective he can be for the first half.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And then you deal with that issue when it comes along, at the end. And they probably could do it with a front-loaded contract too, where you pay him more in the beginning, and hopefully it's a lot less when he's less productive at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is just a live viewing of Vic wrapping his head around having to offer 8 to 10 years Carlos Correa.
Bro, listen, I told what was it? I think Trav yesterday on the chat. I said, listen, I'd rather have him over Seager. I think at this stage the Yankees might be looking at it that way based on
that was me. That was me. I asked you about.
And then
Seager.
I told the tail of the table that he couldn't have
the tail of the table.
The tail of the table.
Because I'm the head. Now listen, no, but seriously though, all jokes aside though, like this is a Yankee move to take an established player like this and then end up winning with him. And I'm sick of it. I'm over it. Grow your own players. Keep your own players. Hold on, Vic. Let me finish. Keep your own players and let us over here on the strolls keep our people and continue to be hitting son of a guns.
Don't lowball them.
With this,
listen, that's a total different story right there. Because I'm calling Houston tonight. I know Houston was trifling, but I didn't know they was this trifling. My goodness, we see Deshaun Watson now Carlos Correa. No, bro, no.
They got to stick within the means of what they got, dog.
Hold up. Not too much on Houston now.
It is Ragaday.
Listen.
Not too much on Houston.
With this Steinbrenner, the Suns right now, they have to they're a little bit more involved in like determining if they want to pay this contract. The Yankees have different paths that they can take. Right now, they got 3 shortstops that are almost pro ready by the middle of the season in the minor league system. But they do know that they have an issue defensively, especially at that position. And they also have an issue with guys that are not necessarily putting the bat on the ball at a consistent level, and that's Correa. Anyway,
I mean,
so.
Excuse me.
That's been the Yankees for like 5 years, bro.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a belief that they might go Seager. They'll move him to third base for 2023, and they'll call up one of the shortstop prospects, or they'll go with Correa with the long term, and they'll deal with the prospect issue after that.
What's the deal, and what are they gonna do with Torres?
Torres I personally feel like they should stay with him. I think they will. And he's definitely a second baseman. He never was a shortstop. I don't know what scouting which scout said that. I'm pretty sure they were divided in that situation. I'm pretty sure that there was a few people that were telling them like he's not a shortstop because he was even having issues at AAA. But he's definitely a full-time second baseman. Cashman admitted that they made a mistake on Monday. He admitted that they made a mistake, but then he goes in and gives Aaron Boone an extension. So, you know.
So what are they gonna do with LeMahieu?
Man, we got preacher man off in here, man. Talk about the Yankees. What they gonna do, man? Because Vic got all the info right now, man. What else y'all need to do?
Who said
I want to know
LeMahieu?
who you gonna. Yeah, what they gonna do with LeMahieu?
LeMahieu, I think personally should stick at first base.
Yeah.
Or if they have to go with third base. If they sign Correa, go with Correa short, LeMahieu at third base, and bring back Rizzo, and you have a solid.
But when I said when we was all on the trip that LeMahieu could play third base, no, that was the craziest thing I ever seen.
Who said that?
You know what? I'm sick of this.
Was that Hornet? That wasn't me.
Dennis.
I'm about
Dennis.
to write a letter. I'm about to write a letter.
He could even play shortstop if you need an emergency.
What you got to say, Dennis?
First off, I'm not big on Aaron Boone, but that's another story for another day. No, because he's supposed to be so much better than Girardi and all this, but I haven't seen nothing that. Hey, that's another story for another day. Analytics. What? Okay, I'm asking something. Analytics ain't gonna. Analytics is all good. I understand it. You know, it's part of the game. It's that third. But we good when you got players that ain't there. You know, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But okay, good question for you. What's the guy named Girardi? Girardi's last season with the where did we go?
Championship series.
Championship series, right?
Yep.
Since Boone been there, where have we been?
I don't think a championship series.
No.
But they won the World Series with Girardi.
They ain't acting like it was a trick
Exactly.
No, the thing is, there's two things. Well, with the situation, Dennis, is that they shifted more to an analytics situation, which a lot of teams are. And Girardi was not willing to do that. He was also not willing to. He's more like Alex Cora. He wants to be the one in control of the lineups. It was going to happen with the pitching staff, and unfortunately, Brian Cashman and those guys want to have a say on the lineup in situations like that. The lineup that they threw out there against the Red Sox was hands down one of the worst lineups you could put together for a one game type of situation. And the analytics put it somehow that way, and they paid for it. They paid for it big time.
Real quick, everybody watching, Max Fried just got knocked out in the fifth inning. He went 4 2/3. Dodgers are 4-2. They're going to the bullpen. Martin's coming in to pitch for them. But here's the thing. Here's the thing with me and the Yankees. The Yankees are known for their name, for their championships. But right now, the Yankees aren't doing what the Yankees were doing in the past. And the problem is that they're not even the best team in the division.
No,
they're not.
But Jorge, if you look at it, bro, right, the Joe Torre era, there was no analytics. That was all Joe Torre, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at it from '96 to 2001, it was Mariano Rivera, Derek Jeter, Jorge Posada, Bernie Williams. All of them came from the farm system. All of them. Yeah. When they started dishing out money for more players, the A-Rods, I don't know who else, from 2003, 4 to like AJ 2009,
Burnett, Mark Teixeira.
They were bad, bro. They were a bad team. So it's almost like football. You want to develop from your system. You want to believe in your system and produce. I mean, that's how all the Tampa Bay, who else? Cleveland to a certain extent. The White Sox.
I still didn't understand that trade for John Carlos Stanton. I still didn't understand that.
Right, and then so then you look at this era. You had Aaron Judge. You had Gary Sanchez when he was unbelievable. You had there's two more guys. Gleyber, from a sense, came from the system technically because he he was in the AAA team. There's a few Luis Severino.
Yeah.
You know, so they had homegrown guys in 2017, just before Girardi left, that we were like, oh shit, we about to start another little streak here of some sort. But then they came in with Girardi and started, the Stanton trade happened, which now, I mean, I don't know, Preacher Man, but Dennis, but I mean, now he's worth the money, if you count in the last couple of months of the season. So
yeah, but I mean, listen, that's 300. We still paying our rest of that $300 million deal, right? And if just to play for 60 games, you know what?
Yeah, I mean, him and Judge have been a little bit healthier this season. As you can see, when they put Stanton in the outfield, he started hitting better because now he was more involved in the game. He had a flow, he had a feel for what was going on in the game. It's tough, man. But like Germ talks about it a lot, is your homegrown talent. Besides the fact that he wants to get rid of Baker and stuff like that.
I also feel like with the Yankees, when it came down, when we went and got Stanton, we actually needed more pitching than we did.
Right.
Another bat.
I mean, bro, the thing is,
that year we gave up what? Almost at a record at home that year. Like, we don't need another long ball. I mean, come on, we needed more pitching.
Yeah, the thing is, bro, like every football team, I mean, every baseball team needs more pitching, bro. So like at the end of the day,
think about it, right? We talked about this too amongst ourselves when we were in Pittsburgh. It's just certain styles, and it's just certain styles are conducive to each era, right? So we're coming from a home run heavy era that we've never even converted out of because that was a part of the steroid era. We've never converted from these big power hitting lineups, technically. Right. So when you see the teams like the Stros, when you see teams like that, it's like, okay, they put more pressure on you with maybe one or two guys that are going to hit home runs, but everybody else hits, which is kind of what we're seeing with the Red Sox situation with Devers and JD Martinez being the guys that hit the home runs, and then everybody else around them just being able to hit.
But look at those teams. Look at those teams. The Stros are all homegrown talent. The Red Sox are all homegrown talent.
But what to go to that point and then go build on it is we talking homegrown talent, and we're talking playing a certain style. This is a homegrown talent situation where the Yankees are still trying to live on a name of the Bronx Bombers rather than just trying to put the best product on the field. Because if the Yankees had, and then this, I bet everybody here will agree, if the Yankees had more guys like DJ LeMahieu on their team that could hit for average, that could just put pressure on a pitcher, it would change the entire dynamic of the lineup, because then Judge gets a total different look when he comes to the plate, because now you can't pitch him the same because you got guys that can take bases and you have guys that put pressure on the bases.
Hey, Trav, I know you're watching. What just happened, man? Tell the people.
Taylor just hit a 2-run shot, man. Score 6-2, man.
That's my guy right there.
Go ahead, Dennis. Dennis wanted to get something in.
When you had, I mean, when you brought up how back in the day, how we brought in our fosters, how we had Jeter and all those guys coming to the number. At pitching, we had Clemens, we had David Wells, we had Cone, our pitching staff was tight.
Andy Pettit was homegrown talent. John Wetland. Wait, no, did John Wetland come from the system? I don't remember.
Y'all have Mussina too. Don't forget about him as a pitcher.
Where did Pettit come from? Was Pettit part of the farm system?
Pettit was Pettit was drafted by the Yankees. Yeah.
So Pettit. Who else?
El Duque Hernandez.
El Duque was an international signing, but
Robinson Cano. Didn't they get every drop out of Robinson Cano?
No, Robinson Cano was when he came out of nowhere.
Got every drop of production out of Robinson Cano, bro. Yes. He went to Seattle and just fell apart like this.
Robinson Cano. They thought Robinson Cano was going to be the next Barry Bonds. That's what they thought about Robinson Cano.
We juiced that orange boy. We juiced him to the boy. We squeezed it out of him.
That was a good one too with him and Jeter for a while there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's you got to get your homegrown talent right, man. You got to draft better.
Yeah, I agree.
Yankees system, the Yankees farm system went from being like, I think it was top 20. I mean, in the 27th to top 10 this year, and based on the fact that these guys came out of nowhere with some of the production. Luis Medina,
you know what I say to
Luis
that?
Hill. Yeah.
You know what I say to that? Nah, just let the Yankees keep doing their thing. Let them
He's a hater, man. I know you're gonna say something like that.
Nah, I mean their bullpen is gonna be, besides it's gonna be interesting to see what they do with Chapman, but the bullpen is gonna be very good.
You think we're gonna keep Rizzo?
I would like to sign Rizzo, but it's gonna obviously depend on what they do with LeMahieu. If they decide to play him at third, it's gonna depend on who they sign, which one of the shortstops they sign.
I just don't want to lose Carlos Correa to the Yankees, because then I'm gonna have to watch the Yankees a little bit, because I actually generally like.
I would love to get Correa in that lineup.
I love Correa. Correa.
On that short porch too, man.
Even though there's some Aaron Judge, when that cheating scandal happened, he took that shit to heart. He took it to heart because he had not only the fact that they were threatening for a World Series appearance that year, but also he was second in MVP to Altuve that year. So he took that situation to heart. Where
when Altuve batted like 350 something.
Yeah, at one point. Yeah, Altuve. Listen, the cheating scandal aside, Altuve. Yeah. I want to talk about Altuve for a second, because this is a dude that is 5'6", 5'7".
He don't read a file.
Yeah, and for him to generate the power that he has, okay. If you look at his swing from the front side, he loads up. He has to load up from here, from the back leg to go forward. But his wrist action is one of the most elite wrist action hold
on. Talk that scout talk. That's the table that you the head at. Talk that scout talk. Oh yeah.
everything with him so compact. Coming from a small package, it's just compact.
Right. So he generated power from the ground up with the way, so he generated his power from his back leg forward. All right. That's the natural way we get taught how to hit the ball anyway from the beginning. And then, but his wrist action as he goes through the path, his reach is just, his forearms got to be huge.
Yeah, they got
to be. Because he that dude is a special player. He's not the same guy when he was from 25 to 29. I think he's 30 now, but that's a special talent.
He still hit 31 homers this year.
That's crazy. I didn't even know his numbers this year, but that's crazy. That's crazy, because I know
he's not batting for average like he was, but he's still batting around 280, 290, and it's amazing that two of the teams that's in the Final Four are teams we talking about was in the cheating scandal. You can't stop good bats, bro. You can't stop good bats.
It is what it is. Dennis, I don't know if you heard me before you got on. The Stros literally are at 5 runs a game, bro. You're gonna score 5 runs, bro. That puts a lot of pressure on another team every single night.
Every year in fantasy, not to switch it up, every year in fantasy baseball, I'm in the top 2-3 teams because I always got a couple guys from Houston every year. No lie. Except the short year.
Are you watching the Browns game?
Yeah.
Bro, Dearness Johnson, I'm getting ready to say something real crazy. I don't know if there is more than 6-7 runners I would take over him right now. Bro, this pressure step that he hits in this hole on a couple of these runs, and then the way he converts it, what? This is disgusting. Bro, he's running. He runs just as good, if not better, than Nick Chubb behind his line, bro.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know why. Again, I don't know why he got 1 carry last week.
Oh my god.
This is in the first half he had 9 carries. I don't know. The Browns got to do a better job with this situation, bro, because they need to be, like I told you, we talked about it behind the scenes. This has to be a 65 60-40 type of situation when it comes to running the ball.
He just attempted to pass Jarvis Landry, and Landry wide open. He just got hit. Quarterback got hit. So Yes.
This is a situation.
Johnson got 13 rushing attempts for 80 yards, man.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
This is not a situation where you got an offensive line that you can't put players behind and be able to maximize some of the stuff that you're doing. Like, so Vic, on that play right there, Keenum has to anticipate that opening right there. That's an anticipatory throw that he has to make right
there. Man, Keenan just made a big time play.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where you at right now. But
no, I'm a little bit behind you guys because I'm streaming it. But
yeah, me too. I am streaming it too.
So I'm talking about the one he missed Jarvis in the middle.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You see how the linebacker was drifting there underneath? Well, you see that linebacker drifting underneath right there. You know he can't flip his hips and change direction. That's not a DB. You got to anticipate that being open right there, bro.
See, right here, he tried to do a little too much right there. Could have gotten a fumble.
Yeah. See, that's the Case Keenum effect. So yeah, too much.
So Germ, Jordan Alvarez. I don't know if Tyrell noticed, but you know they got him from the Dodgers, right?
Are you serious?
The Dodgers signed him international signing, and they traded him to the Astros.
Yeah.
But
hey, Ty, I knew y'all was through. Thanks. Appreciate you.
This is a dude that is supposedly 24 years old. I had to throw in the supposedly in the quotes because you know the Cubans still
his birth certificate a lie.
Yeah. The birth certificates.
I'm not
questionable.
Boy, that birth certificate ain't legit.
I'm not coming for any player that's on the Stros. I'm not coming for him. Nope.
Listen, if he's a legit 24 years old, that means that
Which he isn't.
Growth. There's still growth there, Germ, and that dude has a tremendous swing too. And I don't want to throw out the name Barry Bonds, Jorge, but
1997.
You know what I honestly think about?
Allegedly.
Alvarez to me looks like a classic power hitter. Looks like one of your classic power hitters.
He's a classic 4 hitter.
That's his birth certificate.
That boy just wrote a birth certificate down.
But
oh god.
Man. So with that being said, though, you look at it like it's a lot of hitting that goes on that team, bro. That's just Kyle Tucker has had some very good at bats in this series. Like
he was another top prospect from their system.
Like it's oh god, bro.
Then they brought Gurriel in from overseas, right?
He also was an international signing, but more of the he was the type that was already pro ready.
Right.
If you want a Cuban, see the Dodgers. That's what I'll say. If you want a Cuban, see the Dodgers.
So Tyrell, he was signed at 19 years old by the Dodgers and as an international free agent out of Cuba, and then he was traded that same year.
Yeah, he won Rookie of the Year
for Josh Fields.
Yeah.
Who the hell is Josh Fields?
Yeah.
I'm asking because I don't know where Josh Fields is right now.
Jeez.
He's watching us.
Josh Fields is, I think out of the league. I know.
Wow.
I just looked it up. He's with the minor league. He's with the minors with Texas Rangers. So he's with the Nashville Sounds.
Oh man.
So he's in the minors.
So you traded Jordan.
He's in Double-A.
Look. Sometimes things work out. Sometimes things don't. But the Dodgers, we have a great farm system. If you need a prospect, come see us. Even though we just gave a whole bunch away to have the squad we have right now.
And that's another funny part about the Dodgers, bro.
It is not funny. It is not funny.
It's hilarious because they have so much talent. Like, how do you have that much? Bro, the Dodgers are giving away players at this stage because they have so much talent. They're the only team in Major League Baseball that can get rid of 5 guys that could eventually turn into superstars to trade for a superstar of today and then come back 2-3 years later and they got more guys. This is stupid. And then they don't win. That makes me upset. If I got the best farm system, I'm winning every year that I can possibly win because I'm throwing some of these prospects out there.
Whoa. Don't downplay what the Dodgers have done that some teams can't or will not ever do like the Dodgers
what we
did.
Downplay?
Okay?
Because if you say winning, they dodge wins. That's what they do.
No, they do not
dodge
wins. Okay, they just don't fit. Hey, you get to the World Series, 3 times, back to back, pretty much, and or 4 years, and
when your payroll is $250 million, that's expected.
That's what you're supposed to do.
And you're supposed to make. You're supposed to do that when you make more money than the president.
That's billion with a B.
Ty, talk to them, yo, because I'm in the same boat.
Because the Yankees the same way. When you got all that money, you are expected to win. That's true though. That's any sport. That's any sport though. That's any sport.
All that jelly, no toast moment right there, y'all. All that jelly, no toast moment.
But not to defend them. That's why you play the games, okay? 1, and then 2. You were a couple of games away from continuing to be the Buffalo Bills of the MLB. So don't go talking about championships, sir. All right, you got one in the short year.
You know what? Screw y'all. Like, even though it was COVID, it's a damn championship. I said what I said. It's championship is a championship. This LA, 2 sports. Whether it was COVID or not, won champions. Respect your champions. All I gotta say.
I'm not
listen. I'm gonna double down on this, Ty, because I just find it fascinating. So they signed Alvarez at 19 years old. He had last played when he was 17 for a professional league in Cuba, where he batted .351 with 17 home runs. 17 it says 17 RBIs. Damn, they don't even have the home runs listed for some odd reason. See, Cuba don't even list the home runs. But he batted apparently .351 in this league at 17 years old before he got signed by the Dodgers. And they had already said that he had exciting left-handed power and hit tools at 17 years old. So I don't know I don't know why, if you're the Dodgers, you trade him. And apparently Josh Fields was 30 years old at the time.
I don't make those decisions, but had I been in the room, and had a say, I would have said keep this guy. But
of course, yeah, no doubt.
I mean, listen, when the Dodgers and Joyce buy Brillo pads, it's all the same,
I gotta give Ray a shout out though, making noise with guys like Eddie Rosario and stuff.
Mr. Cheeks.
He on base again.
Hey, Dennis, he looked just like Mr. Cheeks. They about a honey lemonade that I met one day.
Crazy what he's doing. He's batting over 500, Rosario. Man.
Yeah, he didn't hit for a cycle yesterday.
No, he hit he drove in 4 by himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and guess what he was at earlier this year? Take a guess.
The Yankees
with
Minnesota.
Yeah.
You know what? We talked about that the other day. We said Minnesota and Cleveland.
How they just give away players.
He started out with Cleveland this year. He was with Minnesota last year.
Oh wow, double whammy.
Every time
he's a Minnesota. He came from the Minnesota system.
Yeah.
So he came from the Minnesota system. He was a part of the Lindor trade. And then on top of all of that, he comes back in this situation, and now he's hitting. Well, notice he's been making all the plays since I gave him his nickname, Mr. Cheeks. He's no longer a lost boy. Bars.
Check this out, man. We got 5 more minutes left on this S.C.E.N cast, so we're gonna wrap it up here as far as closing thoughts. Anybody got something special to say or special shout outs are going on right here? Let them go right now, man.
I'm going to go first real quick, y'all. Look, this was fun. I thought this was the most, just this goofy stuff that we like to do. Y'all got to see it live tonight. This is literally how we argue with each other, though. Literally, we are petty toward each other every day. We literally troll each other every day. And look at no further than the screen. Like the Braves are up 3-1, and Storms is literally trolling a winner right now. Like this is crazy. Like
he did take it down because that's what making us lose right now.
So here's my thing. Like I called it the other day. I don't believe it anymore. I said history was going to repeat itself, and the Dodgers are still going to win this series. Had Justin Turner not been hurt and out for the rest of the postseason, I would be sticking to that. But I think even though they're probably going to win tonight, they're not going to win both games in LA.
Man, and Atlanta.
Yeah. Or yeah, that's what I meant.
But I'm gonna tell y'all this. Storms does jinxy stuff like this. Let me show you what he did the series before. He had what's the boy name?
Do we have to?
Yes, off like Mike. What was the bully name?
I never saw that movie.
Yes, like Mike is the bully, the redhead cat. So Webb was doing a great job. Pitched 7 good innings. The Giants lost. You had that picture up. When he lost. So that's what we do, man. Jorge.
Not to mention when I called the Albies home run.
Oh God, I love that because you did call out some other stuff that led to that. So Jorge,
if anybody want to, I can go.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Wu Tang. Church is the ghost in the business in the building. Wu Tang forever, all that good stuff. Josh Storms, we gonna see you Sunday, Josh Storms.
Okay, let's go, Bengals, baby. Let's go, Cincy, baby.
Yes, sir.
I'm with Burrow in the game. You heard?
The Joe Show's coming to Baltimore.
Josh, y'all got one damn job. Y'all got one fucking job.
For real.
One job, Josh. One
Talk about it.
job.
Talk about it.
You know what?
Talk about it, First Lady.
Marvin ain't at the helm, so I'm giving us a shot.
Yeah.
Well, we gonna show you what our running back can do. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Hey, he'll pass it now, though. He'll pass it now.
That's right, baby. 400 a game, baby. Yeah. Boy,
I'm looking up on my glasses right now, Dennis. I wish I could look you in your face right now to see.
That boy gave you that mud look.
I'm just happy to be 5-1, man.
All I'm saying, Dennis.
Trav, that's that Stringer Bell.
all I'm gonna say, Dennis, is don't nobody win no awards for a quarter of a season.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Hey, nobody remembers second place. Nobody remembers second place. And that's what we got to understand. Like, listen, Lamar is playing unbelievable football as a passer as well. But this is only
I ain't gonna say unbelievable.
Don't say unbelievable.
You're doing too much now, Vic. You're doing too much.
I mean, the adjectives, bro. It's the adjectives levels.
Maybe
better
I exaggerated.
than what he's played in previous.
Just say better. Yeah, just say better.
Yeah.
And he hasn't played the defenses that know him best yet.
Well, listen, Josh.
He's playing so much better now than what he was. It looks miraculous. How about that?
To be fair, the Chargers were supposed to be that team, and they completely choked it up for us this week. You know what I mean? So we'll see as time goes. Like I said, it's early in the season. Again, if he makes it to the playoffs and loses in the playoffs, what are we talking about? The idea is to win a championship.
He hasn't seen his best friend TJ yet, so it's
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
we gotta see the Steelers.
Yeah.
Anybody else got some closing thoughts, man? Jorge, Ty, Vic.
Yeah, don't let your Braves lose 3-1 from a 3-1 lead again, because you won't fucking hear the end of it.
It should be 4-0. It should be 4-0.
Yeah.
It should be, but that's why Trav is quiet as hell, because he's been down this road before. You notice Trav got
that's why he said we only got 5 minutes left.
So here's the thing. Ty, you really are a Boys to Men fan because you getting ready to be on bended knees.
Pause.
Oh my God.
Goodness.
First of all,
Pause, mother.
Wait.
Jerm, you ducked me, okay? I had the playlist ready. You don't even have a playlist ready. You
The
don't even know what
playlist is
song.
already ready, dog.
Wait a
Then
minute,
pull
Ty,
up
because that
then.
playlist been wait a minute, Ty, wait a minute, because that playlist has been together for months.
Who?
It's on the YouTube channel that everybody from the scene has access to that I pay for. It's literally on the YouTube
Shenanigans.
thing.
Oh
Where
Lord,
can I
shut
find
it down
that?
right now
Shenanigans.
before
Here
the
comes
audio kicks
worldwide.
in. Shut it down. I see who's coming
Hey,
in.
yo,
Just
no,
shut
hold
it down.
on, Jorge. Before you leave, tell the people how you got rich today. Tell the people how you got rich today. Talk about it. Apologize and say thank you.
I ain't saying
Hey, Jorge, you hit the numbers.
Apologize and say
You hit
thank
the
you.
I
numbers.
got money.
Say
You hit the
thank
numbers,
you.
Jorge.
I ain't saying nothing.
Say thank you, Donald. Say
Nope.
thank you, Donald.
Nope.
All right,
I ain't
y'all,
saying
man.
nothing.
Shit. Hey man, you gonna have to inbox me.
Man.
I gotta finish paying for a wedding.
Hey,
All right, so look, y'all.
He got rich because of 45 today.
All right, so look, so this is what we're gonna do.
45.
Look, the words and the opinions of Victor Santana or Vic Coco, as you see on the screen, are not necessarily the views of the entire scene cast. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take
Definitely
this
not the views of Lester C. Stewart.
Yeah. So I will not be on, as Les would say, John Brown's internet and continue to allow
James
this to
Brown's
go.
internet.
I'm saying John Brown because I'm saying I'm changing it, damn it. We gonna get off of here. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is sponsored by Monkey Knife Fights. We will come at y'all with some content for that coming up for the rest of the week. We got Trav, Ronnie, Mo, Guru,
Ricky, Bobby, Mike.
Head of the table.
Through, First Lady, Storms, Chaz Lagos, whatever he called himself. The dude that be preaching on Sundays.
Preacher man.
Germ. And then we got Coach Les Stewart in the building. This is the scene, baby. We out.
We gotta go now. Oh man, we gotta go now.